Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Glacier Bank Park for Pioneer League Baseball. Tonight, we have a third-year franchise that seems, for the first time in their existence, like the older brother, the new kid on the block. The Oakland Ballers take on the host, Glacier Range Riders. It should be a record-breaking night for a lot of different reasons for both the Glacier Range Riders that are expected to bring in a host of fans that will surely fill out this ballpark as it nears kind of full completion. And on the other side, the Oakland Ballers, well, all the franchises first will happen tonight, or at least a lot of them. The Oakland Ballers come in, play their first game in franchise history, and that moment will be just a few minutes away. I'm going to welcome in the second member of the team, my color commentator, and my number 2 throughout this season, David Holvey. David, first of all, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you. I'm excited to get going. It's been a long time coming and ready to get this show started.
David, fans are going to learn more about you as this season progresses, but they want to learn a lot more about both the Range Riders and the Ballers. When you were looking at this matchup, you're a rookie to the Pioneer League, like a lot of fans back in the Bay Area are. What kind of stuck out to you about this matchup, about these two teams, and just all the fun we're going to have tonight?
Well, I think, it's very exciting. When you look at the matchup, these two sides, it's really a tale of two stories. The Glacier Range Riders have plenty of experience, multiple guys playing in professional baseball, but when you look at the Oakland Ballers, what they lack in experience, they make up for in talent. I think this Ballers lineup has the chance to be lethal throughout the season. So it's the youth for Oakland, but it's the veteran presence of Glacier. That's how I see this matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be a great squad. A number we're going to talk about a lot is the 10 starters for the Glacier Range Riders, all 10 with professional experience. An Oakland squad that's younger, maybe a little bit more hungry. They've been kind of doing what the Range Riders did 2 years ago when they were in their first year. The Range Riders had to practice at a field that wasn't their own. That's what Oakland had to do. They had to travel for a couple weeks to start the season. That's what Oakland's doing right now. All these things that can kind of make you uncomfortable, we'll see how this young squad responds to it. If there's anything that we got from head coach Micah Franklin, talking with him during their batting practice, was that this squad's hungry and they're ready to go, and they're just ready to play ball. I think everybody is just ready to play ball. David, on this Oakland squad, when we were talking with Micah, what were things that kind of stuck out to you with what he said?
I think part of it was when we were down while they were taking BP is just what I said. This team is talented, and you got guys that can really swing the bat. You look at Dondre Hubbard. He is a name to watch out for all season long, but even Peyton Harden, who's going to be leading things off for the Ballers this season, he's going to be a pleasant surprise, I think, for the Ballers. Again, this team is loaded. And, look, first ever game as a franchise, there are obviously a lot of question marks. But you get to find out, at least a small sample size, of what this team is going to be made of going forward.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting matchup here tonight. We're going to take a quick break on Flow Sports and on the radio. When we come back, we'll read over the starting lineups for the first time and bring you a little bit more tidbits on the 20 men that will take the field and the first ever lineup for the brand new Oakland Ballers. We'll be right back. Fans, welcome back. Scott Gladstone and David Holvey with you here on the radio and on Flow Sports. Micah Franklin and Paul Fletcher, the two managers of these squads, just finished their meeting at the plate with the umpires tonight. We're going to go over the starting lineups real quick and kind of give you a name to watch in each one. For the Oakland Ballers, their first ever lineup includes Peyton Harden leading off, Austin Davis batting second, Dan Covino will bat third, Dondre Hubbard, the former Missoula Paddlehead, bats fourth, Noah Martinez fifth, Trevor Halsema, who played in Idaho Falls last year, sixth, Jalen Smith, Colton Horner, and Miles Jefferson round out the starting nine. Colton Horner, he's got himself a Pioneer League ring. He won the championship with Ogden last year. David, who sticks out to you? Who's the bat to watch in this lineup?
I think it's got to be Dondre Hubbard, especially given the experience he brings to the table. We talked about the youth of the Oakland Ballers. Hubbard can be one of those leaders on the team, show by example.
Yeah, and for somebody who's been here last year, he has bat really well at this ballpark. On the Range Riders side, it's Andy Atwood, Mason Dennison, Chad Castillo, Christian Kirtley, Ben Fitzgerald, Drew Sims. The bottom three are J.D. McLaughlin, Gavin Tonkel, and John Daly. What about these guys? What about the Range Riders? What do you see?
Well, I think it's interesting because 2 through 4, I think, all have the potential to swing for the fences throughout this season. But I'm looking at Chad Castillo, a guy that definitely packs a punch with the bat. He's got plenty of power. Andy Atwood in the leadoff spot, you'll likely see him get on base a good bit. It's up to Castillo and the guys to follow him to bring the runs in.
Yeah, Castillo we got listed at 6'4", 230 pounds. Man, if he wasn't a professional baseball player, probably there's a couple other leagues that he could maybe had a run at. Finally, the pitching matchup, Nick Zegna versus Abraham De Leon. Give us your elevator pitch on that one.
Yeah, well, here's the funny thing. We talked about it in the open, right? Oakland Ballers, Glacier Range Riders, tale of two stories, youth and experience. Is the exact same thing on the mound. Nick Zegna is coming back for the Glacier Range Riders. Went 5-4 last season. Not a bad mark whatsoever. He did some good things, and he's brought the velocity up. So that heater is going to be working for him. On the other end, for Oakland, you have a guy who has not played much professional ball, but Abraham De Leon is talented, and he is special. 7-3 record at Texas Southern just a year ago. And that ERA, under 3, he can fill up the zone, has a great strike-to-walk ratio. I'm excited to see how both of these pitchers fare.
Yeah, it's going to be a heck of a battle on the bump. The two aces, Abraham De Leon, the tag forever for the history of the world of being the first ever starting pitcher for the Oakland Ballers. He'll throw the first pitch in that team's history. We'll take another quick break. When we come back, it's time to play ball. Opening day in the Pioneer League. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back. A wonderful national anthem sang by Joseph Haug. Oh, David, it is so great to be back and to be ready to call summer baseball. I know this is your first season with the Range Riders. You've been here for just over a week.
Yeah.
When your impression on the Range Riders, on this franchise, the home team that's playing here tonight, what has it been just getting to see the stadium and meet the players a little bit?
Well, let me start with this. It is very beautiful. Kalispell, Montana is a gem of a place, and I've been lucky to be a part of it. I think when you look at the organization as a whole, the Range Riders do it the right way. You're talking about a premium ballpark here at Glacier Range Park. It's beautiful, and it's done the right way. This really holds to the standard of a AAA park in my eyes. That's how nice it is, and I think this team is going to be very good as well. That's what all the fans care about. That's what they want to see. Obviously, they want to get off to a quick start. They want to find their footing early in this game and in this series. And overall, I'm just excited. We've been waiting for this moment. We've been waiting for baseball to get back up and running. And look, Scott, we're finally here.
Yeah, it is really great to be back. Nick Zegna, you mentioned his stats from last year. The starting pitcher for the Range Riders earns the ace spot on day one. Game one for the Range Riders all the way back in Colorado Springs in 2022. It was Logan Van Wy who were in the start. Van Wy is now in AAA with the Astros. Last year it was Noah Barros that was the day one ace. This year Nick Zegna gets that prestigious honor. The Big Z, you already mentioned stats. I'll go over it again. 5.99 ERA, 5-4 record in 15 appearances last year. 49 strikeouts to 25 walks. A reminder of the Oakland Ballers starting lineup. It's Peyton Harden leading off. He has got some wheels. Austin Davis bats second. Dan Covino third. Dondre Hubbard fourth. Noah Martinez fifth. Halsema sixth. The bottom three are Jalen Smith, Colton Horner, and Miles Jefferson. Peyton Harden, well, he steps up to the plate now with the unique trivia answer that his name will now be of the first ever batter for the Oakland Ballers.
There you go. You have it.
Steps into the left-handed batter's box. Nick Zegna, big right-hander on the mound, into his windup, fires the first pitch, misses inside. We are underway, 7:06 p.m., 61 degrees, and little cloud, little sun here in the Flathead Valley. 1-0 count. Zegna fires the 1-0, and that one misses low and inside. Count goes to 2-0. Called strike. First strike of the season thrown by the Range Riders. 2 balls, 1 strike, no outs. Top of the first inning. Thanks for tuning in. Scott Gladstone, David Holvey with you. Now on a foul ball by Harden. Count goes to 2-2. Harden will play in center field. And last summer he played for the State College Spikes in the MLB Development League. That one misses up and away. Called a ball, 3-2, a full count. So lead off the top of the first inning here. Payoff pitch. On the ground, over towards second. Harden's going to try and beat this one out, and Atwood will misthrow it. Hey, that one's going to be an interesting call right away. Our official score is going to be thrown into it. Harden with a lot of speed. We'll see what it goes down as. I could see that one as a hit or an error. Atwood trying to rush to make the play. Harden is very fast, as I've already said.
Yeah, he's your typical leadoff man. Plenty of speed. He's going to make contact. And good job just working the count, making Nick Zegna beat him with the arm, and obviously the throw not there. That's just a good job by Peyton Harden battling.
It was scored as a single, so the first hit in Ballers history goes to Peyton Harden, and now he becomes a dangerous base runner. Up steps Austin Davis, the right fielder. Batting in the 2-hole, he steals on the first pitch. A foul ball will send Harden back to first, and the count to 0-1.
Well, I tell you what, I don't think the Ballers are going to be afraid to be aggressive on the base pads this season, especially with Harden. Anytime he gets on, you might as well just get ready for it. If you're Drew Sims behind the plate, be ready to make a throw.
Yeah, Drew Sims is a heck of a story to talk about when we get the chance, but we can't tell you that it is Drew Sims behind the plate, a year one Range Rider, missed all of last year due to injury, and now he's back, and Harden wants to test him early. Another foul ball makes the count 0-2. We also should say those of you watching the flow stream, you might see the strike zone there in the bottom right corner, as well as the pitch velocity. We want to say that is not an official strike zone. It's kind of like a first down yard marker in a football game. It's very close, but don't count it as official. And we'll tell you why, because there is an official strike zone that can change calls that we'll talk more about as these players can challenge pitches. But I don't want to get into that right now.
Yeah.
We're already throwing enough on the poor people in Oakland. They're experiencing their first Pioneer League game. That's a foul ball. Count stays 0-2.
Well, and this is really the key for Nick Zegna. Get ahead in the count. You saw the fastball finally start to locate. Then you can go off speed. Went change up there and almost caught him out in front.
Actually, now as I'm looking at the stats, that has actually been changed to an error that Peyton Harton reached on. As this one is hit towards the gap in left center field, and it's down for a hit off the top of the wall after one hop. Harden will score easily from first base, and the first RBI in franchise history for the Oakland Ballers is Austin Davis's double to the left center field gap. It's 1-0 Ballers early.
I want to just give credit to Austin Davis battling in that count. He was behind. Nick Zegna did a great job locating. You blink your eyes, and Davis rips one in the left center gap. That was a great piece of hitting, and obviously with the speed of Harden, look out. He's going to make it to home plate easily. Yeah,
read it off the bat and did not waver. 1-0. Ballers take the lead here, top of the first inning. And a runner on second with no outs. Not the start the Range Riders would have imagined. Still plenty of time for Zegna to figure it out. That one plucks the zone. It goes to 0-1. Defense for the Range Riders. Drew Sims behind the plate. I already talked about him. Christian Kirtley is the third baseman. Mason Dennison plays at short. Andy Atwood plays at second base. Castillo is the first baseman. The outfield from left to right is brand new for the Range Riders. Tonkel, McLaughlin, and John Daly. That one missed. This one fouled. Count goes 1-2. Nearly the first souvenir ball given away by the Oakland Ballers.
I tell you what, it's a nice crowd out here at Glacier Bank Park, too.
Yeah, there is not a lot of empty seats in the house.
Nope.
1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs. Runner on second. Runner on second is Davis. 1-2 misses low. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Zegna has been able to get ahead early in these last 2 counts, but you're seeing the fight from the Ballers remaining disciplined in the plate. You got to find your payoff pitch and get these batters out.
2-2. Zegna steps off, gives a look to get Davis back to second base. Davis, one of the players with professional experience on this Ballers squad. Former member of the Ottawa squad in the Frontier League. Runner's going to third. This one's hit. High fly ball to left field. He's going to have to go back. The catch is made in left field to throw. Into second is in time. It's a 7-4 double play, and the Range Riders sting the Ballers on a hit and run. Nice throw from Tonkel, who flexed the arm for the first time today.
Oh, nice is an understatement, Scott. My goodness, that was thrown on a frozen rope. And Davis, he took off to third base, and he did not realize that that ball was going to be easily tracked down by Tonkel until it was too late. Again, what a beautiful hose throw from Gavin Tonkel out in left field.
Now a guy who's had a lot of success here in this ballpark, but in a different uniform. It's Dondre Hubbard, who sees a ball, and the count goes to 1-0.
That's how you get back on track.
That one looked at, as that one misses up high, count goes to 2-0. Yeah, that's exactly. You allow an RBI double, but Nick Zegna can appreciate what his defense has done for him there. Good throw by Tonkel, 2-0. Misses up high. When I was talking with the scouting report guys on this Range Rider squad, they said They don't want to mess with Hubbard that much. He has shown he can play very good ball in this league as he tries to take a walk to first on a 4-0 walk, but instead the count will go to 3-1 as that one is said to have hit the zone.
Yeah, Hubbard is dangerous in the box, and Zegna is definitely aware of that.
3-1. That one also called a strike as Hubbard. That always rubs the umpire the wrong way sometimes when you try and take a walk to first on 2 straight strike calls. 3-2, swung on, back to Zegna. He'll field it, he'll throw to first, and the Big Z recovers very well. However, the Davis RBI double makes it 1-0 Oakland as we head to the bottom of the first. 2 straight. We'll be right back. 3-2, don't go anywhere. Swung on, back to Zegna. He'll field. He'll throw to first. Welcome back, fans. Scott Gladstone with you. David Holby's alongside me. We're going to welcome in the 3rd member of our crew, if she's down there. Alexa Belcastro, can you hear us?
I got you, Scott. We were just talking before this game. Full of confidence. They seemed locked in this spring training. And if I could describe pregame, it is exactly that. That starts in the coaching room. That's something this coaching staff instilled in this team. And our starter, Nick Zegna, he even said this was the first spring where he didn't play baseball. So I said, are you nervous? Are you ready? And he said, I am nothing but ready for this game tonight. We saw it in that last inning. You know, Oakland scores a run, Zegna locks it in. And that's what the coaching staff has really instilled. He said, go play like dogs out there is what our head pitching coach said, Michael Koltak. Scott, I'm sure you can chime in on that.
Yeah, it was a good response that he had. Andy Atwood tried to drop down a bunt right there and fouled it off. Count goes to 0-1. Good response from him after allowing the RBI double. Count is 0-1 right now. Alexa, did you get a chance to ask him about the nickname the Big Z?
Oh, man, Scott, I did not get the chance to ask about Big Z. But, you know, talking about confidence, I think that's a name you need when you want some confidence.
Yeah, the Big Z. Down 1-0 right now. We'll see what Atwood can deliver as that one goes as a ball outside. Here's the worst news we can deliver to you, Alexa. The line at Uncle Dan's Brat Stand was too long. We don't have a brat right now.
Oh, man.
So I know you're busy, but if you get a free second, we'll always take a brat or two up here when you get it.
Oh, okay. I just sprinted for my pregame hit from one dugout to the other and had to talk immediately, and I never knew how to hold my breath until then, so I might need a brat as well.
All right, so we'll meet at some point tonight and get a brat. Count is 1-2. Thanks, Alexa. We'll talk to you a little bit later, okay?
Okay, thank you.
That one misses. Count goes to 2-2. Here's the thing. I've been hyping up Uncle Dan's Brat Stand, which is a new addition, but it's kind of an old addition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been hyping it up the whole time, and it's opening night, of course. Of course, we get crunched. We should have planned ahead.
We should have. And look, that's one of my weaknesses. I'm not the best planner, and we'll learn from it.
Andy Atwood rips this one to short. I think it took a deflection, maybe off the pitcher, and that throws off target, and it's going to be safe over at first. And another interesting scoring decision coming. As again, did that one take a rip off the
I'm not the best planner
off the pitcher? What did you see on that one?
I think it definitely.
Andy Atwood rips this one to short. I think it took a deflection, maybe off the pitcher, and that throws off target. And
it's a great swing by Atwood. I mean, he put the barrel on it. You want to talk about a grinder? That's what you're getting from Andy Atwood, and that's what you want in the leadoff spot.
Andy Atwood now at first. As of right now, it scored a single, but we've already seen a single overturn to an error, so don't sit too pretty. Abraham De Leon, like you just mentioned, the starting pitcher, he seems okay after whatever comebacker took a glance maybe off of him. Atwood will now head to second, and safe at second is Andy Atwood. Stolen base, and Mason Dennison pulled out of a bunt attempt, so it's going to be a 1-0 count. Atwood into scoring position with his team down 1-0. He'll try and make amends for it. A reminder of the Range Riders starting lineup. It's Atwood, Dennison, then Castillo in the 3 spot. Kirtley bats cleanup. Fitzgerald 5th. Drew Sims 6th. The bottom 3 are the outfielders, McLaughlin, Tonkel, and Daly. Castillo, the lefty, in the on-deck circle, ready to face his first pitches as a Glacier Range Rider. The 1-0 from De Leon. On the ground for Mason Dennison. Dennison, a returner. We saw a lot of power from Mason Dennison this spring training. That's something that maybe he added a little bit more to his bat. He does have the first ever Range Rider Grand Slam at this ballpark, but hey, the more he can get that ball over the fence, the less we'll complain, right?
Yeah, and look, 3rd season now with the Range Riders. This is a guy that head coach Paul Fletcher, I think, is looking at as a leader. And hey,
that ball's going to go into the outfield. And Atwood smartly will think not to go any further. That one, he could have been out. He could have been to third. A lot of things could have happened on that one.
Yeah, there was a whole lot going on. And looking at us, it'd be very hard for you to encapsulate all of it in one breath. Atwood had a chance to make it to third, but he actually ran in to the second baseman in Smith of Oakland.
Yeah. I mean, good job. If nothing else, Smith wasn't able to grab the ball, but he kind of half grabbed the guy. Ball there makes the count 2-1. 2-1, no outs. Bottom of the first inning, 1-0. The Oakland Ballers lead the Glacier Range Riders here in this opening day matchup between the hometown Range Riders and the visiting and brand new Oakland Ballers. Check swing, the appeal to over near second base, said that he didn't go. Second base ump is not in the greatest position to try and make the call on that one. Count is 3-1 now as Dennison just held up. 10th pitch upcoming for Abraham De Leon. Yeah, this is a packed ballpark right now.
Oh, absolutely.
That one misses in the dirt. Dennison a walk count. Will expire on him, a 5-pitch walk, which included an opening steal by Atwood. Runners on first and second now, and Chad Castillo will step up to the plate. Castillo, we talked about in the opening. He is 6'4", 230 pounds, originally from Santa Ana, California, and he just came out of the Philadelphia Phillies organization.
Yeah. You also saw him with Jersey Shore and high A ball for a little bit. I mentioned it in the open. When you get runners on early, Castillo is the guy you look at saying, hey, we need runs and we need you to bring them in. Perfect example right here. No outs, 2 on.
He swings away on the first pitch. It's a foul ball. Count goes to 0-1. A lot of Oakland fans, I'm sure, tuning into this broadcast, trying to see a sneak preview of the team that they're going to host in exactly 2 weeks from tonight on June 4th, their opening day at home at Raimondi Park. Good block there by the catcher, Horner. Count goes to 1-1 as that one missed low.
You're absolutely right. Horner's doing a really good job behind the plate. And how about Mason Dennison, just going back to his AB? You talk about the power and his ability to swing the bat, but sometimes the best thing to do is keep it on your shoulders. Show that plate discipline.
Yeah, but you saw that wrist strength on the holdup to make it 3-1. That one misses way outside. No chance at the zone. Count goes to 2-1.
Is that a new evaluation for scouts? Wrist strength, the ability to pull back on a swing?
I'm sure it's always been factored in a little bit there. 2-1 the count, no outs, runners on first and second. For the Range Riders, a step off there. Nobody's on second to keep Atwood honest, but he goes back to the bag anyway. For those of you that don't know, there is the 2 pickoff rule here or 2 disengagement, I should say. So that is 1 disengagement per this at bat. If De Leon does that twice more, it will count as a balk. And the runners will go. That one called outside. Count goes to 3-1. I was kind of halfway considering that we might see a challenge for the first time.
Yeah, obviously it's so early in the game. You want to hold on to those.
Yeah, and it was a good job not to use a challenge because it was a good cut outside. This one swung on over towards second. A chance for 2. Castillo will try and run it out, and it's off the bag. It'll just be a 4-6 fielder's choice. 1 out, and now runners on the corners. Not the worst outcome in the world for the Range Riders fans, but not the best either. Smith, the second baseman, made a good play. That reminds me, I'll go over the defense real quick. The first ever Oakland Ballers defense is Horner behind the plate, Covino at third, Jefferson plays short, Smith at second, and Noah Martinez the first baseman. The outfield from left to right is very speedy. Halsema, Harden, and Davis.
I want to give credit to Castillo, at least beating out that throw for a double play. Runners on the corner, still a chance for the Range Riders.
Christian Kirtley sees the first pitch miss, and a count goes to 1-0. Kirtley is the Glacier Range Riders slugging leader from last year. He slugged over 600. He really came on as the season progressed. His rookie year showed up about midway through the season, and he came through in the clutch quite a bit. This one's a foul, and the count will go to 1-1.
Well, Curley, he batted .320 last season with 15 home runs to go along with it. Well, he's going to be another guy, especially behind Chad Castillo, I think, to drive in a lot of runs and bring that power.
Yeah, those 15 home runs you mentioned, that was in just 59 games where Dean Miller, who's another good player for the Range Riders last year, he needed 90 games to hit 15 home runs, the same amount as Kirtley. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, runners on the corners for CK. That one smacks the zone, called strike. Count is 1-2 now with 1 out. Ben Fitzgerald, another Range Rider from last year, waits on deck, a left-hander. But the right-hander Kirtley will see this one. This is a big 1-out pitch because the opportunity for a sacrifice is still in play. Thought about it. Ooh, they said he held up. He should appeal over to first. There's appeal over to first. Oh, said he went. I really thought he held there, but they're going to call it a swing and a miss strikeout, and that is the 2nd out.
Oh, and a tough break for the Range Riders, and obviously Christian Kirtley.
Yeah, he's shaking his head at that one, but after he appealed over to first, he accepted it,
yeah.
It seemed. Atwood playing a lot over there at third. And a foul ball by Ben Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, already mentioned, a returner for the Range Riders. Left-hander, he started red hot, hitting a ton of home runs. He finished with a .306 batting average, 23 doubles, 13 bombs. 0-1 count, 2 outs. Castillo over there at first, not much of a threat to run. Don't expect him to go crazy, but who knows? This one swung on to left field, coming in and making a diving catch is the left fielder, Trevor Halsema. He just robbed Ben Fitzgerald of a hit there, robbed him of an RBI. And the Ballers hold firm on the lead. It's 1-0 Oakland as we head to the 2nd. Welcome back, fans. Scott Gladstone and David Holvey with you here in the Flathead Valley, Montana. Long way from Oakland. About as far away from Oakland as you're going to get in the Pioneer League. Well, maybe I should have done the as the crow flies miles on that. No, there's a lot of eyes back on us in the Bay Area as that one's called a strike into Noah Martinez. Due up this half inning for the Ballers is Martinez, Halsema, and Smith. First look around the Pioneer League, which both Range Riders fans and Ballers fans will want to know what's happening, as this one is hit over to Atwood, who fields it, the 360 spin and right on the money. That's that nice pure play you'll see from the stellar second baseman in Atwood. So around the Pioneer League right now, in the top of the second down in Utah, it's Northern Colorado 1, Ogden 1. Billings has a 2-1 lead on Great Falls in the Electric City. Missoula, the team that has had the best record in the regular season the last 3 seasons, is down 2-0 against Idaho Falls as Halsema fouls it back. Speaking of, Halsema is a former Idaho Falls Chucker. And the only other game in action is Grand Junction at Boise. The Jackalopes of Grand Junction lead Boise 2-0. YOLO, the kind of partner and built-in rival to the Oakland Ballers, YOLO and Rocky Mountain will start a little bit later. They are on Pacific time. Like those of you who are in the Pacific time zone, no. Count is 2-1 as that one missed inside to Trevor Halsema.
Talk about time zone. I'm still getting adjusted from Georgia to the mountain time zone.
That one misses low. Count goes to 3-1. Halsema adjusting to a new time zone as well. Mentioned he played in Idaho Falls last year. Was a good player for the Chuckers, but the Chuckers really struggled. As that one misses, Halsema will earn himself a walk with 1 out. He heads to first. Funny enough, Trevor Halsema was actually the number 3 batter for the visiting team in the last Pioneer League game played in Glacier Bank Park. That was the season finale last September, where Halsema batted in the 3-hole as the Chuckers beat the Glacier Range Riders.
Nice little tidbit. There you go.
Yeah, that's what the institutional knowledge will give you, right? When you've been around long enough, you just feel like you know too much, probably. Jalen Smith steps in, a 1-0 count as the first pitch misses high. Halsema, somewhat of a threat to steal. He does have decent wheels over there on first. He's an outfielder. He'll hold off on this pitch as that one finds his own. Count goes to 1-1.
And I'll tell you what, early on in this game, again, small sample size, but you're seeing a very patient Ballers batting order right now.
Yeah, they're no problem. They made Zegna throw 22 pitches in inning number 1, and a swing and a miss right there as the count goes to 1-2. So maybe a little bit of an announcer's jinx there. That's the first one that they really jumped at. That didn't look like Smith had much of a chance to grab it. Smith is from your home state, Georgia. Yep. He's from Lithonia, Georgia. Played for the Empire State Grays, a travel team in the Frontier League last year. That one's a foul ball, going to go off his lower body. We'll stay at 1-2. Zegna wore number 38 last year, switched to number 11 this year. Zegna originally from Delaware. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out with a runner on first. Swung on, high fly ball. That one's going to die in center field. Wind blowing out to right center and grabbed by J.D. McLaughlin for out number 2. Now we see Colton Horner coming up.
And you're seeing a very comfortable Nick Zegna on the mound now. Obviously, to start the first inning, you had the air that then led to a run after a double. But I think he's really found his groove. He's not been flustered at all, and that's what experience provides. That's why, if you're a Range Rider fan, you're excited about a guy like Zegna.
Pitch misses high into Colton Horner. Mentioned he's got himself a Pioneer League ring. Well, maybe the ring hasn't come in yet, but at some point he's going to be able to get a ring in the mail from the Ogden Raptors, who took home the Pioneer League championship last season. 1-0 pitch. That one just misses the body of Horner. Count goes to 2-0. Zegna right at 14 pitches. The general goal that you'll hear from a lot of managers and baseball people is you want to keep your pitch count to under 15 an inning.
Yep.
So Colton Horner would love to at least extend this a little bit longer, and he will, because that one will miss high. Count goes to 3-0.
I mean, that's tough. It's not as easy as it might sound for the folks at home, especially when you have a batting order that really makes you work.
Right here, the Ballers are more than happy being patient as that one is called a ball. Misses outside. Count goes to 4-0, which means a walk. Miles Jefferson, the final baller to bat in the starting lineup, will come up here. Drew Sims is going to have a conversation with Nick Zegna on the mound. Jefferson coming up here. The shortstop is from Katy, Texas, a fresh professional player out of Sam Houston State University. It's funny, you kind of see different pipelines that emerge in professional baseball in a league like this where everybody's kind of signing as a free agent. There's no draft other than the midseason and the preseason tryout camp drafts, which are not the main place where teams get their guys. And you see the pipelines for Oakland. It's very clear. It's California and Texas, where they're really shelling. Range Riders, it's kind of all over the place, but there is a lot of Georgia as that one misses low to the Texan. Jefferson, count goes to 1-0.
Yeah, and the Ballers 8 from Texas, 8 from the state of California, and 3 from Georgia.
There's a lot of ball being played in Georgia in general, as you know.
Hey, I'd like to say we have a lot of talent.
That one hits the zone. Count is 1-1. 2 outs. Top of the second here. Runners on first and second. The Range Riders rocking the home white uniforms. Per usual, they will wear white at home every day other than Fridays and Sundays. That one swung on. Dennison tries to lay out for it, unable to make it play, and it'll be an RBI single for Miles Jefferson. And just like inning number 1, the Ballers can tack on a run, make it 2-0, Oakland in the top of the second. Halsema scores from second base. We flip over the lineup card for the first time. It's Peyton Harden, who's 0 for 1 with a run scored.
Again, give credit to what Oakland's doing right now. Jefferson, barrel to the ball, bear down. He was not going for the fences. It was not a super big hack, but enough to make contact. They're putting the ball in play. They're doing the little things right.
2 outs, runners on first and second. Harden, see the first pitch and swing and miss. Count goes to 0-1. It's a really difficult thing to do, to go into an opening day ballpark, a packed place. You just took a flight to Seattle and then a flight from Seattle here to the Flathead Valley a couple days ago, and they are coming in like they're kind of the more seasoned of the teams, just the way this has started. We'll see how the grind of the game goes, but as that one misses, the count is 1-1 with 2 outs to Harden.
Yeah, we know there's plenty of baseball to be played this season. There's plenty of baseball to be played in this game, but you do admire the effort that we've seen from Oakland. And for Glacier, you're fine. There's no need to panic. You're only down 2. But obviously you want to see the bats get going in the next half.
Check swing. It's going to be a called strike. Count goes to 1-2. 1-2, 2 outs, top of the second. Runners on first and second. Harden 0 for 1 with the reached on error and a run scored. First run scorer in Ballers history. That one misses just off the shoot tops. Count goes to 2-2.
Zegna has done a fairly good job of getting ahead in counts, but again, it's putting the batters away. Where's that strikeout pitch for Zegna right now? It's what he's looking for.
2-2, 2 outs, 2 on. Deuces wild here at Glacier Bank Park. This one swung on, and that one grabbed by Atwood. He'll flip to Dennison, and it's out at second base. Great play by the middle infield there. Atwood to Dennison. I have a feeling those two are going to make a lot of good plays for the Range Riders this season. We end the top of the second. It's a run across on a Jefferson RBI single. We'll be right back. 2-0. Oakland leads Glacier. Welcome back. It's the bottom of the second inning, and Drew Sims steps up to take his first at-bat since September of 2022. It was the Range Riders' final series, as that one misses. Count goes to 1-0. It was the Range Riders' final series of their inaugural year when Drew Sims played against the Great Falls Voyagers. He ended up getting injured in spring training last year. Did not play 1 minute, as this one's a high fly ball. It might die up there. No, it's going back to the track, and that baby is gone. Drew Sims, in his first at-bat in 1.5 years, has just sent that one over the fence. And how good does that feel for Drew Sims? Man. I talked to him pregame. I just said, how does it feel to be back? And I asked him, when will you know for sure, hey, I'm back, I'm playing baseball again? And he said that first crack of the bat. Well, there it is.
And let's just put this into perspective. It is not easy at all to sit out an entire year and then some due to injury. You got to watch all your teammates play while you're sitting on the sideline. But rest assured, Drew Sims was still working out. He was working hard, and that's what you could just call hard work paying off. A guy like Drew Sims, he does everything the right way. And I'll tell you what, that ball was launched into right center field. Wow, that's one way to start your season.
1-1 strike into J.D. McLaughlin. That one called a strike as well. Count goes to 1-2. Drew Sims, man, this is like a re-debut for him. Yeah. In his initial pro debut, he hit a home run in his second at-bat. He just one-upped it. Out for a year because of an injury. Boom. Now, it was cool. And this is not – he's not a power hitter in general. Yeah. He's a solid hitter. He barrels it up. He gets good contact. But he had 3 home runs his entire collegiate career. And he just has a knack for when the time is really right.
And I tell you what, you take a look at center field, that flag is pushing hard towards right center field. Yep. Drew Sims clearly aware of it. Oppo Taco, I mean, my goodness, that wind is really blowing right now.
Put it up in the jet stream and let it do the rest. This one's hit just foul. J.D. McLaughlin, man, at the plate right now in a 2-1 contest. Oakland still has the lead, but the first home run of the season for either of these teams belongs to Drew Sims. 2-1 scoreline, 2-2 count. As McLaughlin will see that one, and he immediately challenges the call, and this is a first challenge. What I'm looking at right now is I believe it will be a ball. And that is a correct challenge by J.D. McLaughlin. If you look at that, that was quite a ways outside from what I'm seeing in front of me on the TrackMan data. As this one will now go to left field, it will result in an out. So the Range Riders continue. Now I got to keep notes because the Range Riders had one challenge. Or you get 3 challenges, and they used the first one correctly, so now they still have 3 challenges. So in the end, it's not a wasted challenge, but you know, in the end, it didn't make a difference. It was an out either way.
Yeah.
And you want it to change outs to not outs if you're thinking about it. Maybe we should explain more of the challenge system before we get too big into the philosophy.
Yeah.
As this is Gavin Tonkel at the plate. Tonkel will foul this one. It is 1-1, 1 out, bottom of the second inning, nobody on, 2-1 Oakland leads Glacier. So teams now have the right, as those of you who are watching Flo just saw, to challenge balls and strikes by the home plate umpire. You tap your head, you can talk to them, you can point your ear, you just make the umpire aware that you are challenging. There's a swing and a miss, count goes to 1-2. Then the umpire will signal to the booth, and the booth will look at the TrackMan data to see if the true strike zone, if that was a strike or if it was a ball. We saw it right in front of us, as that's a swing and a miss, a strikeout for the number 8 batter, Gavin Tonkel.
And that slider was filthy from De Leon. I mean, 20 inches of horizontal break. If he can get the off speed going, it's going to be a lot tougher for these Range Rider batters. And the way it bended.
Final
front door slider, my goodness.
Final pitch, or final starter for the Range Riders to step up is John Daly, who swings out of his shoes. Comes up to the tune of Party in the USA. A little Miley Cyrus here in the 9-hole.
Oh, yeah, that's a crowd favorite. I mean, you got to assume he will very quickly turn into one of the most loved Range Riders.
He's got good flow, too. That always helps. He's a really nice guy, and if nothing else, that helps as well. Another swing and a miss. Best way to become a crowd favorite, however, is to come up and produce. He calls time. Count is 0-2 with 2 outs, bases empty. Drew Sims, the solo shot. First home run of the season for him and for the Range Riders. Has put the only run on the board this half inning. That one misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
And I got to mention it. You have to ask yourself, does John Daly play golf? You can't have a name like that and not think about the legendary John Daly.
Yeah.
Man.
We're gonna do some research on that throughout the season. We got road trips to go to. We'll see what he does kind of in the mornings on those game days. Maybe he gets out and hits the links.
I sure hope so. I mean I can't play golf at all, but if my name was John Daly, you best believe I'm getting lessons. I'm doing anything I can to get good at golf.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. De Leon fires, swung on, hit well, but right at the left fielder, Halsema, who comes to a knee and makes the grab. That one sizzled off the bat of Daly at 100 miles per hour, but it was the Drew Sims jet stream home run that he sent up into the atmosphere and over the fence. It is 2-1. Oakland leads Glacier as we head to the 3rd.
Not when you do that on 3-0 and you pull out the bugs like that.
Welcome back. That ball is hit into play. Atwood will get it down. What a play at second base. We still had a mid-inning game going on. So those of you on Flow, we apologize. Basically what just happened was Davis just cranked a shot into left field. It was all the way to the wall, bounced off the wall. The left fielder for the Glacier Range Riders, who we've already shouted out plenty for his arm strength, it was Gavin Tonkel. He dropped another rope to second base, threw him out, so it's going to be a single. And then a 7-4 throw at Atwood placed a good tag, and then there's a ball to make the count 1-0.
I mean, that ball was shot off the bat as well, over 100 miles per hour on the exit velo.
This one hit over to first. Castillo Fields flips to Zegna, and it's out number 2. 2 quick outs thanks to some good defense. And Zegna, sometimes that's just what you need to get back on track.
And how about Andy Atwood and what he's already done in just 2.5 innings of work? I mean, my goodness, you talk about making defensive plays. He has stepped up and immediately made an impact.
Both him and Tonk will be in the highlights right now. This is the cleanup hitter, Dondre Hubbard, to see a strike. Count goes to 0-1.
And I also love the composure from Zegna on the mound.
Yeah. You know, a couple runs early as that one hits the backside of Dondre Hubbard.
And I'll take the blame for that one. Goodness, the timing of that.
Good old announcer's jinx there as the composure turns into a good old HPP. Noah Martinez steps up now. Martinez is 0 for 1 with a ground out, 4-3. Stay tuned, especially Oakland fans that I'm sure want to learn more about the league. Right now we got the commissioner of the Pioneer League, Henry Hunter, who's on his way to talk with us. We'll have Henry Hunter on the broadcast for the bottom of the 3rd inning. Dondre Hubbard is running. Pitch from Drew Sims to second, and they call him safe at second. The ball slipped out of the glove of Mason Dennison, it seemed. Pitch was a ball, so the count goes to 1-0.
Yeah, it was a perfect throw from Drew Sims. I mean, he got up in a hurry, placed it on a line, and the ball just fell out of the glove of Dennison.
Yeah, did what he could with that ball, that dropping off-speed pitch. Count goes to 1-0. 2 outs. As that one misses low, now it's 2-0 into Noah Martinez. Martinez the first time up. Grounded out 4-3. Misses inside. Nearly caught the body of Martinez. So Zegna allows a single to start the inning. The throwout happens over at second base to kind of help him out there. Then the quick 3-1 ground out for a hit by pitch, and now a 3-0 count. Hubbard dancing there on second. Time is called, and it's pitch clock violation on Zegna, and that will walk the batter. Right?
Well, rather,
I guess they
count.
Okay, so they called that first pitch that Hubbard stole on. They called it a strike. I completely missed that because it was fielded near the ground, and I just assumed it was not that far away from the strike zone. As I do have the true strike zone in front of me, but it works out as a walk anyway.
Yeah, nonetheless, same result.
Trevor Halsema steps up. Halsema walked his first time up and did score on the RBI single from Jefferson.
And Halsema really lit it up with Idaho Falls just a season ago. He batted .310, 52 walks that he drew as well. You're looking at a guy, 61 ribbies. I mean, he did a little bit of everything.
That's going to work as a disengagement there as Drew Sims stepped up. So something to keep note of. Only one kind of pickoff / disengagement is will be allowed more from Zegna. The 2-out pitch, just high, it seems. Count goes to 1-0. Halsema, I mean, we talk about, you just brought up his numbers from last year. He was one of the best players on a team that really struggled. Idaho Falls and Great Falls kind of jockeyed it out for the worst spot in the league, and that's called a check swing over there at first. Christian Kirtley, who got called on a strikeout on a check swing, probably at least seeing it be called the same both ways there, as the wrist was said to have broke there for Halsema. 1-1 with 2 outs and 2 on. Nice pitch to find the zone. Count goes to 1-2. 77-mile-per-hour off-speed pitch.
Yeah, and that's what Zegna's looking for, a balance. So that heater and then obviously going off speed. If you can bend it back in the zone and freeze the batter, you'll find that heater a lot more.
1-2 as Zegna tries to fire his first shutout inning. Can't do it on that one. Count goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 3rd inning. Ballers lead the Range Riders 2-1 here in their first game as a franchise. Range Riders is the first time they've ever had opening day at home They started on the road in Colorado Springs in Season 1. Last season they started on the road in Great Falls. Misses outside. Count will go 3-2, 2 outs. Runners will get a head start. They'll run on the pitch here with a full count and 2 outs.
It really has been a matter of Zegna getting ahead in counts, at least with 2 strikes, and then really struggling to find that last strike to retire these batters.
Can he find the punch out here? Bringing it home, called, strike 3. Have to wait a second to make sure there's no challenge, and Halsema bites the dust and heads into the dugout. 1 hit for the Ballers in the top of the 3rd, but no runs. First inning that they don't score a run in franchise history. We'll be right back with the Pioneer League Commissioner, Henry Hunter. Don't go anywhere. First pitch into Andy Atwood as we get back here to Glacier Bank Park was a ball. Count goes to 1-0. De Leon just threw his 41st pitch, and we'll see this one miss up high. Count goes to 2-0. We are pleased to welcome in the Pioneer League Commissioner, Henry Hunter. Henry, welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks, Scott. Happy to be here.
This is your first time out to Glacier Bank Park, first time to the Flathead Valley. As this one swung on high in the air, and that might be another one that the wind caught, and it is. Goodbye, baseball. Andy Atwood, his first home run as a Glacier Range Rider, and we're all tied at 2 apiece. Barely have the chance to introduce you before things get exciting up here.
Love it.
I tell you what, you might need to stay in the booth a bit longer because clearly some good luck for the Range Riders. Andy Atwood, goodness gracious, what a game he's already had.
He's a great kid, too.
Yeah, he is a really, really good dude. You see him grind. I mean, I see him grinding in the cages when any chance he gets. That one dotted at 360. Another one that the wind caught a hold of and took it over the fence there. Now Mason Dennison steps in, nearly hits him as the count goes to 1-0. Henry, first, I was about to ask you, what are your impressions of your first time out to Northwest Montana, the Flathead Valley, to Glacier Bank Park? What are you liking that you're seeing?
The short answer is wow. As soon as my flight got below the clouds, I pulled out my camera and started videoing because the whole place looked like a postcard.
Yeah.
And then you get to this ballpark and you're like, whoa. So, there's nothing bad to say about this ballpark. It's a gym. I see why Ballpark Digest chose it as the ballpark of the year. And yeah, I mean, it's a testament to the Kelly family. This is a good way to honor the game.
3-0 count now as that one missed into Dennison. And that one missed as well. 4-pitch walk. Mason Dennison, dangerous base runner, earns himself a ticket to first base. On the other side, the visiting team here, obviously one of the biggest storylines, one of the storylines we've seen around the not just the Pioneer League and indie ball kind of circuit is the Oakland Ballers and the YOLO High Wheelers being added to the Pioneer League. I remember I interviewed Michael Shapiro, the president of the league, 2 years ago. He said the next step for this league is expansion. Now, 2 years later, you have it, and two teams in California. As Dennison's running the swing and the miss, the throw in, got him. Pitch was a swing and a miss, so the count goes to 0-1, and Dennison thrown out Horner. Great throw by him. Obviously, great play by the Ballers there. What can you say about just the journey that it took to get first the Oakland Ballers in this league as the newest expansion team? That one's going to hit Castillo. He'll walk to first.
Well, I mean, there's kind of two parts to the journey. One is they found us. I think they did due diligence with other indie leagues, with other opportunities, and they decided that the Pioneer League is what they wanted to be a part of. And then the challenge is making that reality. And as you can imagine from your own experience here, launching a franchise is a major off-season project. Launching two of them and figuring out how to go from bus trips to plane rides, it's been a fun, growing pain of the league.
Yeah. What have you been most impressed with? I know there's a watch party back in Oakland. There's probably a couple, I don't know how many. I don't even know what the numbers are like listening to us at their watch party. There's probably a lot of Ballers fans listening from home. What has impressed you the most about, as this is a wild pitch that's going to get Castillo to second base, what has impressed you most about the Ballers and kind of the fan base and just everything that's happened around their expansion?
Well, I would say, with the A's leaving, they walked into one of the ideal situations to put an expansion team.
Yep.
But they didn't just ride that and harness that energy. They've gone well beyond that. And, Paul and Brian, the two owners of that club, are really good storytellers, and they have a really good story to tell. So, everything about the experience of building a team, everything about replacing the A's, the cell movement, all of that, and the Pioneer League story. So, they've done great with, both the local fan engagement and getting that energy and harnessing that energy. And they've also done a great job of, telling the story of the Ballers, telling the story of the league, telling the story of some of their players. I think they're a great asset. I mean, the league has got more eyeballs on it than ever, and they're a large part of that.
Count is 1-2 right now to Christian Kirtley, 1 out. Runner on second is Castillo. David, you got anything for Henry?
Yeah, I think exactly what you were talking about, expanding on the fact you bring in two teams from California. For some of the fans back at home that might be watching or listening, why is it so important that not only you bring in the Ballers, not only you bring in YOLO, but that you expand as a league? Give the fans a perspective of what makes that such a monumental move.
I mean, it makes it a monumental move because we just redefined our footprint. And to be clear, our footprint is the Mountain West.
Right.
And we have every intention of including the Mountain West in future expansion.
Yeah.
Christian Curley connected with that one. He just expanded a lead for the Glacier Range Riders right there. That ball might have just left the Mountain West the way he hit it. It is a stung ball, as Christian Kirtley, with 15 home runs last year, has hit a home run to start his 2024 campaign. It is 4-2. The Range Riders have their first lead of 2024. Sorry to cut you off there, Henry, but it seems to be a home run derby, basically. We might even be close to the knockout round the way they're playing right now. While we have a mound visit here, continue to talk about just expanding the footprint, making sure we continue kind of the 85-year tradition of being in the Mountain West region, but also saying, hey, there's opportunities elsewhere.
Absolutely. And, the face of minor league, independent league baseball is changing in real time in ways that nobody can fully predict.
Yeah.
So, by putting that stake in the ground, we're making the statement that this is a well-run, growing league that future potential owners or future clubs should want to be a part of. I think California represents a tremendous opportunity for us. It's one of the more unsaturated markets, if you will.
Yeah.
Kind of like our Mountain West region, where we have the area to ourselves. And then you add the 9th biggest media market in the country, and that's a boon for everybody.
Yeah.
Count is 0-1 now as De Leon, after the meeting of the minds, fires a strike in the bottom part of the zone. I want to zoom out a little bit, because I know you're busy right now, and I just want fans to get an impression. You hear about Roger Goodell and commissioners of big leagues sometimes, but as the commissioner of the Pioneer League, on a night like tonight, the season is opening. It's such an exciting time for the fans, for the players, for the coaches, for the teams. What does your night consist of? What are you kind of dealing with? You're obviously keeping an eye on YOLO. They're playing their first home game, but what else kind of is the day in the life of the Pioneer League commissioner?
Well, opening day in the life of Pioneer League commissioners is different. The best thing about this is I have a really good team.
Yep.
And so, there's been streaming hiccups, and my guy Brian Earl has handled all of it. Mm-hmm. There's been baseball ops hiccups. Brian Hayes has been on top of it. There's no such thing as a flawless opening day, even when you're 3 years in like you guys are. Yep. Relatively speaking, this year's hiccups have been minor, or I would be here right now. Like there was a scorekeeper a little bit off. There was, a stream that was late to start. Yep. But all things considered, like the rain cooperated. The fans showed up, and we got a good competitive game going.
Swing and a miss there as Ben Fitzgerald strikes out. I don't want to take any more of your time. We're going to leave you at the end of the third inning. I just want to kind of open up the door. What for the fans that are watching the Pioneer League for the first time, maybe it's some of the parents or families of the players, maybe it's a watch party back in Oakland. Kind of for you, what is it about the Pioneer League that's special? Why should they see this as something different than maybe what they've seen in the past?
We're the front door to a lot of people's dreams. Some people could pejoratively say that we're the lowest level minor league baseball, but I love that. With an open tryout, anybody can show up and put their career back together or take it to the next level. Yeah. And so for me, one of the priorities is getting really good talent in the Pioneer League. And we're equally focused on getting really good talent out of the Pioneer League, like the guy that you guys just had acquired. Yeah. That makes me really happy to watch those guys, watch them get a step closer to their dream. It validates the league as a pathway to that dream. And like I said, when the draft gets cut from 52 to 20, and when the minor leagues get cut from 120 down to 90-something, yep. It makes us the route. It's a new route for finding and developing young talent.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Henry. Appreciate having you on. It is 4-2, 2 home runs in the bottom of the third inning for the Glacier Range Riders. They have a lead as we head to the fourth. Back here in the top of the fourth inning, the Glacier Range Riders lead the Oakland Ballers by a score of 4-2. The count right now is 2-1 strike on Jalen Smith. 0-1. Want to thank again the Pioneer League Commissioner, Henry Hunter, for joining us. He's super busy tonight.
Yeah.
He was on his phone while he was talking with us. You think that it's only, the big, quote-unquote, big league commissioners that are blowing up. Opening day in the Pioneer League, there's a lot happening.
Yeah, it's busy, it's hectic, there's a lot going on, but at the same time, it's fun, and you love some of that. It's controlled chaos, if we're being honest. I love what he said. You're going to see hiccups on opening day. There's things that have already went wrong, but overall, the fans have showed up, and clearly, still a great atmosphere. It's still baseball, and it's still opening day.
Leadoff walk there to Smith as the bottom of the order is due up for the Ballers. Colton Horner now steps in, batting in the 8 hole. Horner the first time up, he walked. First pitch is a strike. Count is 0-1. No outs. Smith on first. 4-2. Ballers facing their first deficit in franchise history. Pickoff attempt is unsuccessful. That pitch misses low. Count goes to 1-1. That one was not too far away from the strike zone. 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs. Zegna, long pause, runners going as that one is a foul ball. I think that one went off the knob of the bat. Drew Sims, that one caught him in the upper quad maybe. It looks like he's limping a little bit on his legs.
Yeah, Sims was clearly shaking up, and that's exactly what happened. It hit off the nub of the bat, but then it ricocheted and got Sims. It was just a stinger. He'll be okay, but that is not easy to take.
Yeah, tough one for Horner. He knows it all too well. He's a catcher as well. Tough one for him as he clearly went off the knob of his bat. He didn't react at all. And then Drew Sims, part of being out for an injury, out for a year due to injury is you don't get used to those types of hits as that one misses up high. Count goes to 2-2.
It's like football. You come back from an injury, and sometimes you just got to get hit to get back into the swing of things. But I think Sims has already gotten comfortable after that home run. He's locked and loaded.
Another pickoff attempt. Ooh, good chance. That is Zegna's second pickoff attempt. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something to just take note of. I know it's kind of rippled through most professional baseball leagues now, but he has allowed no more pickoff attempts, unsuccessful ones, I should say. As the runner's going, check swing, or enough of a swing to foul it off. Count goes to 2-2. Zegna pitching with the lead for the first time today.
And you talk about this lead. It really helps out Nick Zegna. Give him some cushion, be able to work and be a bit more comfortable. You're looking at a game at first where Oakland was out in front. They took control, but Glacier, what a big inning they had in the bottom of the third.
Hey, that's this league. The 2-2 is fouled off. This league, games can turn on a dime. And if that is one thing that I can stress to Oakland fans that are watching right now, the backs of the bullpen here sometimes are a little bit more shaky than what you're going to see at different levels. And buckle up, as this one's popped up sky high. Will that be a fan's ball? Will that be a player's ball? It will end up with the fans. John Daly can't chase it down. John Daly's a great defender. He ended up with the number 3 play on SportsCenter's top 10 plays last summer when he made an incredible home run robbery catch for the High Point Rockers in the Atlantic League.
Oh, you see that fan? He almost made the grab.
He was right there.
About 3 yards closer, and he would have had it.
2-2, no outs, runner on first. Long at bat from Colton Horner. Long pause. Runners going, swung on. Going to be to Atwood at second. Good work on the hit and run, as it will be the only play to make it first. A 4-3 ground out, but Smith moves himself into scoring position. Zegna pitch count right now is at 75, which is obviously pretty high. With 1 out in the 4th inning, Range Riders might have to dip into that bullpen early. If you want to check on Abraham De Leon, he is at 62 pitches through 3 innings of work. Pitch in to a man with an RBI single. Miles Jefferson, 1 for 1 as he squeezed one up the middle. Was able to score Halsema on it.
Just go back to that previous play. The disengagement rule is so important because you saw Smith steal on every single pitch that Zegna threw. That's really the chess match that you have going on. Anytime a runner gets on base, you waste those disengagements. I mean, if you're a base runner and you have speed, you're going to steal almost every time.
Yep, take a little bit more of a lead. However, if you do get caught on a third pickoff or disengagement, that does still count. You don't get the base for free. So it is that interesting chess game to play. That one finds the zone. Count goes to 2-1. 1 out, top of the 4th inning. Range Riders lead 4-2 over the Oakland Ballers here in the season opener for both Glacier and Oakland, the franchise opener for Oakland. Now, whoa, this is outside. Count goes to 3-1. Thought that one, it looked good from up here. We're off kilter up in the booth, just so you know. We're not right behind home plate, so the left
it's a
and the
different
right.
vantage point, especially for me. I'm used to being directly behind home plate, but, you kind of train your eye to it.
We all got to adjust here and there for all
That is
sorts of
right.
things. That one misses up and away to Jefferson. And he'll walk. We head back to the top of the order as Harden will step in, grounded into a fielder's choice to end the 2nd inning, and that might be the day for Nick Zegna. Zegna, obviously, season opener, 80 pitches thrown. No, it's Mike Koltak out there.
Yep.
And I didn't see him make a sign to the pen, but he just brought in the entire infield.
And part of this is just situational, going over, hey, we got runners on first and second. There's a force out everywhere but home plate. Overall, Nick Zegna has done a fairly good job on the mound. But the walks do scare you a little bit. 5 already through only 4 innings of work. But that's also expected. It's opening day. You got to get your feet back under you and find that rhythm. But I do think, overall, he's been resilient. Even when things have not gone his way, he's still battled.
So Jalen Smith is on second base. Miles Jefferson on first base. Peyton Harden at the plate. 0 for 2, but he's reached base both times because of reaching on an error and a fielder's choice. 1 out. There's a left-hander warming in the pen for the Range Riders. I don't have a good angle on who exactly it is. Pickoff attempt back to second. Atwood wanted it.
He did, and if Zegna put that on the other side of the bag, that likely was going to be an out. It was a great pickoff attempt.
Really close there to try and get Smith. Smith, not a young guy, though. He's kind of one of those independent ball journeymen. He's been around the block. Foul ball, count goes to 0-1. He's played in the United Shores Professional Baseball League, which is in suburban Detroit, and it's a non-traveling team. There's 4 teams in the league. They just all play at the same ballpark every night. And then last year he played for the most traveling team there is. They didn't have any home games. They always played on the road, the Empire State Grays.
Oh, man. That
That's
builds
a grind.
character right there.
Yeah, that is a grind. Swing and a miss. Count goes to 0-2 on Peyton Harden. 1 out. Can Zegna respond with a strikeout or just an out here? That'd be huge. Range Riders have 4 runs on 3 home runs. 0-2 pitch. Misses inside. Count goes to 1-2. Oakland's done it a little bit more difficult. They do have a RBI double and an RBI single. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners on first and second, 1 out with a 4-2 Range Rider lead. Swung on, popped up. That'll end up on the roof for the Sweets here. 1 bounce. And it stays 1-2. Zegna now at 84 pitches in his 2nd professional season. Zegna had a little bit of a journeyman college experience. Started off at George Mason. Then really found his home at Shippensburg University, a D2 school in Pennsylvania, before spending a grad year at Kennesaw State. Step off of the mound. That's his first step off. No, that's his 2nd step off because of the Atwood pickoff attempt all the way at the beginning of this at-bat. Something to take note of. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Misses outside, up and away. Count goes to 2-2.
If you're Zegna, you'd love to get the batter to roll over something and try and force a double play.
With the middle infield he has, surely a possibility. That one missed up high. Oof. Not too far away from the strike zone. Count is 3 balls, 2 strikes. A big payoff pitch. It loads the bases with a ball. Runners are going. Pitch misses low. Bases will be loaded. Lots of speed on the bases. And up steps Austin Davis, who's 2 for 2 with a double and a single. Paul Fletcher will come out and make the change. Zegna shows some frustration by kicking the rosin bag there for putting it back in its place. Could not key in on the strike zone and finding the punch-out pitch. David, tonight, that was his issue. He finishes with 1 strikeout and 6 walks and a hit by pitch as well.
Yeah, it's easy if you're Zegna, to be a little frustrated with yourself, but he pitched well. Oakland has only scored 2 runs in this game. You look at 6 walks, obviously that's not a number that he wants, but again, I think the resiliency is what you want to see. When it's game 1 of a 96-game season, you're not looking for perfection. You're looking for somebody to battle, and Nick Zegna did that.
Only 3 1/3 innings pitched, and right now the fate of an ERA with how he gets out of it, I mean, the fate will be in Montana Quigley's hands right here. Both of them were teammates last season. Quigley acquired midseason by the Glacier Range Riders after he started the season in Great Falls. 2 years ago, Quigley, in the inaugural season for the Range Riders, he was, in my opinion, the best closer in the league, the best relief pitcher in the league. Last season, he started so rough in Great Falls, but then came to Glacier and started anew. And really, his numbers in Glacier compared to Great Falls was incredible. He finished the season really strong for the Range Riders. And, when your name's Montana, you got to play good in this state, right?
It fits, that's for sure. I mean, you can't really ask for a better team to play for. Curious to see just how many innings he goes. And obviously, with this being a 6-game series, just like the rest of the season for the most part, you're always going to want to keep an eye, especially on your bullpen. You want them to eat innings, but at the same time, you don't want them to fall into too much trouble and have to go in earlier and earlier.
Yeah, Montana Quigley, this is an interesting placement. I don't think we've ever seen him appear this early. Maybe a little bit of a kind of a change with him, trying to stretch him a little bit longer, turn him into a middle relief guy, or maybe they're just saying this is a jam right now. We need a closing style pitcher to get the Range Riders out of the jam. And Montana Quigley, the Valparaiso University grad, will try and do it here. Quigley listed at 6'4", 210. You see him, he's a lanky right-hander in his 3rd professional season. Up steps Austin Davis. I said at some point I thought there was a left-hander warming up in the pen. I was just bugging, really. It was definitely Quigley going on in there. Davis will step in. Dan Covino waits on deck. Dondre Hubbard, a very dangerous bat. The Range Riders would love to avoid seeing him in this 4th inning, especially with the runners on base they got right now. First pitch misses low. Count goes to 1-0.
Man, Austin Davis was no joke in college. 2022, he was first team All Big 12. He really did it all. He was thunder with the bat in his hands inside the box. And bases loaded. I mean, he is looking at the chops right now.
That one finds the zone. Called strike. Count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. Lots of speed on the base pass. We've already seen Harden score from first on a double by Davis. Smith on 3rd. His speed comes into effect if there's a sacrifice fly situation. And Jefferson on 2nd, batting in the 2nd leadoff spot as time is called by the batter, Davis. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Top of the 4th inning. 4-2 Range Riders lead, but it could change very quickly in one swing of the bat. 1-1 pitch. Swung on. Dennison lays out for it, but can't make the play. It is going to be a 2 RBI single by Austin Davis. He is 3 for 3 on the day. And you could pretty much undoubtedly say he has had the best game in franchise history, especially up to this point. He ties the score at 4-4. This game is, I feel like the roller coaster has only begun.
Yeah, 3 for 3, 3 RBIs. Now for Davis, it's why I mentioned what he did in the collegiate ranks. He was just spectacular, and again, with bases loaded, you're definitely wanting him up to bat. Obviously for Glacier, a 2-run lead. You bring in Quigley, hoping that he can get out of the jam.
Now, he'll see that one head out towards left field, moving in, trying to make the play as the left fielder Tonkel, and he does. They nearly try for another double off there, but more Atwood just trying to stunt on Harden. It is a fly out to left field. Covino goes to 0 for 3, but Dondre Hubbard will step in now. 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch. He also grounded out back up the middle. This is a big at-bat right here. We're still early in this game, but, man, Range Riders fans, Range Riders broadcasters like myself have nightmares of the power that Hubbard has brought to this ballpark. This one's going to be hit over towards Mason Dennison. They'll throw short, and it's an out at second base. Mason Dennison so clean. 2 runs get home on the 2 RBI single by Austin Davis, but it is a 4-4 scoreline in the 4th inning. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
What a game that we have had. It is 4-4, folks, bottom of the 4th, and we have seen a little bit of everything, some impressive defense from Andy Atwood at second, and a couple of home runs for the Glacier Range Riders. It is going to be a new man on the mound now for the Oakland Ballers, so De Leon's night is finished. Instead, it'll now be Jake Daly who makes his way to the mound, getting ready to hopefully silence this Range Riders batting order, which has been red hot throughout this game. You see a bunt squared up. He had to get out of the way and now make his way to first. And gets blocked out. And that's going to be an eventful way to start off this bottom of the 4th inning. My goodness.
McLaughlin there. Yeah, he was avoiding the pitch coming inside on him. and then he ended up putting down a pretty good bunt. It would have been a decent play if he would have ran on it. Yeah, wacky one. Would have worked out in a lot of other worlds, but not this one.
So now it brings up Gavin Tonkel. Tonkel for 1. He's going to square down a bunt. Dally quickly fields it. Throw over to first is in time to Martinez. So 2 pitches and 2 outs for Jake Dally. That's about as effective as you're going to get. My goodness.
Yeah, very efficient there. Maybe the Range Riders are seeing something with Dally. He's listed at 6'5", 250, so built, like an NFL tight end more than a pitcher maybe. So maybe they're trying to take advantage of some lack of athleticism that they might see from him. So far, it has not worked.
Well, he now pumps in a strike for the first pitch. It brings up John Daly. Daly last season played in the Atlantic League with High Point, batting 199. Second pitch from Daly. He is finding the zone. This is a great outing to start for your reliever in Dally.
Yeah, somebody needed to have an efficient inning. Both pitchers were kind of struggling, kind of getting quick outs.
Yep.
And right now Dally's doing it very efficiently.
Here's the first ball for Dally. Last season, he played in the MLB Developmental League. That was with Mahoning Valley, a 4.08 ERA, 2-1 record. Dally hurls it, and Daly, high fly ball. This one's going to be between Smith and Davis makes the grab for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down for the Oakland Ballers, and Jake Dally. We'll take it every day of the week. We're heading to the top of the 5th. We have played 4 here at Glacier Bank Park. Your score 4-4. We've seen 3 home runs from the Glacier Range Riders. Drew Sims, Andy Atwood, and Christian Kirtley. David Holvey on hand alongside Scott Gladstone. And it's Montana Quigley who's still on the bump for the Range Riders. The first batter that he will face is Noah Martinez, who is 0 for 1 today. And Scott, I would say that opening day so far has lived up to the hype.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing some offense, which is a Pioneer League thing.
And now a half swing from Martinez, fielded cleanly by Dennison, and that's out number 1. Martinez did not know if he wanted to go or not, but nonetheless, it's an out for the Glacier Range Riders, and Montana Quigley gets a quick one.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd love to kind of respond to what Dally did in the bottom of the 4th, which was that quick inning. And Mason Dennison right there took his time, but Mason Dennison, he plays so smooth. He plays confident. Sometimes he kind of flirts with the edge a little bit.
Well, now one that rolls on the carpet. What a play at third base, and the scoop from Castillo. Chad Castillo, what a play that he made. The throw was made by Christian Kirtley, and you're exactly right so far. Montana Quigley has gotten himself 2 quick outs.
He tried to give Dally a little, anything you can do, I can do better. At least that's what it's been so far. Dally got 2 pitches, 2 outs, and now It's been 3 pitches, 2 outs for Quigley.
So now it's Jalen Smith for the Ballers. 2 outs for the Range Riders. Smith shows bunt and pulls back. That's strike number 1 straight down the pipe, 0-1 the count.
Yeah, someone got to mention about that last play, too. Christian Kirtley, he is a chameleon defensively. He plays all over the diamond. He did not play at third once last year. So the fact that he was able to put that decent enough for Castillo to make the play on it, it's a good sign that he can just play more spots defensively.
1-1 now the count as Quigley's pitch whistled near the belt of Smith. 2 outs, 1-1, top of the 5th. 4-4 ball game. Smith back up the middle, and Andy Atwood, cat-like reflexes, makes the grab for out number 3. Scott, you hit the nail on its head. It was a quick 3 up, 3 down for Quigley. So our score still at 4 apiece, heading to the bottom of the 5th. Don't go anywhere. Bottom of the 5th inning, and the Range Riders are all knotted up at 4 apiece with the Oakland Ballers, their first ever game as a franchise in the Pioneer League. It's Andy Atwood to lead things off for the Range Riders. Atwood has had a remarkable night already, both defensively and on the offensive end. He's 2 for 2 and obviously had that moonshot opposite field. Daly stays in.
Count 1-1 right now. Sorry, I'm catching up a little bit right now.
Yep.
Sweet.
Correction, 1 and 2.
1 and 2 right now. All right. So, the thing about Atwood is he's not a power hitter. That's not really his bread and butter. But knowing the situation, being able to put it up into the sky when the wind's blowing to the outfield, that's exactly what he did last time up. It was one that probably wouldn't have got out without the wind. Hey, who cares? A home run's a home run. The stats look all the same at the end of the season.
So Mason Dennison on deck. Atwood, who's 2 for 2, 1 and 2 the count, no outs for Daly. Daly delivers, and Atwood gets out of the way as it squeaks towards the knees. 2 and 2 the count. Andy Atwood was able to talk to him a few days ago, and a quick little fun fact. He was a commercial fisherman before making his way to the Glacier Range Riders. Daly hurls and a high chopper back to the mound. Daly had to wait a mile, and Atwood gets thrown out by a hair. That was a funky sequence, but out number 1 for the Ballers.
Yeah, sometimes you see like hang time for a ball off the bat. That one, the hang time was all about the ball off the ground. That one hung up there for a while. If it headed any further away from first than the pitcher, it would have been a tough play for a defender to make, but luckily pitcher Daly was there to be able to make it.
Atwood is now retired for the first time tonight, and Mason Dennison takes strike 1 straight down the pipe. Dennison had a monstrous season last year. Daly hurls up high, 1-1 the count, 1 out. 4-4 ball game, and we have really seen a little bit of everything. We've seen the power from the Range Riders in Oakland chipping away in the box. Daly waits and delivers. Dennison fouls it back towards the netting. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 5th inning here at Glacier Bank Park. Daly is going to take a quick second to breathe, steps off of the mound. So there's 1 disengagement. Dennison a couple twirls with the bat. And we're ready to go. Daly fires inside corner, and Dennison another foul. So 1-2 still the count. Daly so far has been very effective in relief for Brian DeLeon. Dennison thought about it, instead pulls back, and that is ball number 2. And we now have a challenge from Daly. We will get the official scoring, but at the moment it has been ruled a ball. So after review, call on the field stands. It is a ball, 2-2 the count for Jake Daly. Dennison technically 0 for 0 tonight. Two. Dennison back up the middle, and an easy play made by Smith at second base for out number 2. Got the inside part of the barrel, and now it brings up another man with plenty of power for the Range Riders, and Chad Castillo. Castillo fouls off the first pitch. Our home plate umpire tonight, Brandon Snyder. On the first base line, Steele Rogers, and on the third base line, Josh Garner. Nobody on, 2 outs. Castillo fouls off another pitch. Chad Castillo, a great story for the Range Riders and a great pickup. Mentioned that he played a little bit with Jersey Shore in high A ball earlier this season. Played for California Baptist collegiately, and also played in Clearwater in single A. Batted .233 with his second to last year with Clearwater. The pitch from Daly is outside. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Daly delivers up high. The deuce is wild. 2-2 count with 2 outs. Castillo looking to have the 4th home run of the night for the Range Riders. He's going to have to wait another pitch. That one on the outside part of the zone, but called ball 3. Castillo does take a timeout and will step back into the box. Chad Castillo 0 for 1 today. The full count pitch upcoming for Daly. Here it is, and Castillo opposite field. It's heading towards left, and it lands. Castillo's going to get at least 2, and it's a stand-up double with 2 outs. Chad Castillo finds his first hit as a Range Rider, a stand-up double. And now a chance for Christian Kirtley to give the Range Riders the lead. Kirtley is 1 for 2 today. He is one of the 3 with a home run, 2 RBIs. Also struck out earlier in the game. Kirtley watches strike number 1 on the inner half of the plate. So Jake Daly has now thrown 23 pitches. He's pitched an inning and 2/3. Has not walked a batter, but also has not thrown a strikeout yet. Daly delivers the 0-1, and that is strike number 2. Daly doing a great job of mixing up location right now. That one about chest high. 0-2 count, 2 outs. Runner on second. As Kirtley holds back. Chin music from Jake Daly. It's Chad Castillo, who can be the leading run on second. Daly delivers. Kirtley fouls it off. Kirtley with a chance to add to his RBI tally already. Bottom of the 5th inning, tied up 4 apiece. The Oakland Ballers and Glacier Range Riders. One ball, 2 strikes. Pitch from Daly. Kirtley, it hit off the knee of Daly towards the mound. A scoop by Martinez, and that does it for the bottom of the 5th inning. A bit of luck for the Ballers. Chad Castillo is stranded on second. Folks, we have ourselves a ball game. 4-4. We're heading to the top of the 6th. Don't go anywhere. Top of the 6th inning here at Glacier Bank Park, and we will get it going early. A ground ball to Andy Atwood that's fielded cleanly for out number 1. Montana Quigley is being very efficient on the mound, and we've seen that from both sides when it comes to the relief position.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I just attribute it to there's some opening day jitters kind of, and you it's like being the first pick in the draft. You got to wait so long for that to happen. And it's bound to build up. Once you get into the season, I'm sure De Leon and Segna will figure it out. But for now, it was just they both probably psyched themselves up too much. They both had a little trouble. And now here the relief pitchers are. They didn't know when their name was going to be called, and they come out and they're delivering.
So Colton Horner was the victim for out number 1 here in the top of the 6th. It's 0-1 count with 1 out. Miles Jefferson in the box as he fouls off pitch number 2. 0-2 your count. We've been at a standstill since that bottom of the 4th inning. No runs have scored. The Ballers were able to even things up in the top of the 4th with 2 runs scored. Jefferson is 1 for 1 today with an RBI. 0-2 pitch. Quigley delivers below the knees. That's going to be ball 1. tell you what, Scott, it is picture-perfect weather as well here in Kalispell, Montana.
Yeah, we're looking at 55 degrees right now, but, man, it was colder before this. This makes it feel warm. It's all about perspective, right?
Yeah, exactly right. And Miles Jefferson is rung out on a strikeout from Montana Quigley. A great job using the zone. And that is out number 2. So the Ballers down to their last out in the top of the 6th. It's Peyton Harden, the leadoff man who steps into the box. He's 0 for 2 today.
Yeah, and you see that. That was the thing with Zegna, was just finding that punch-out pitch. He struggled to do it a little bit. Quigley, boom, finds it there when he needs it. Keeps that pitch count low, keeps him rolling.
Quigley first pitch straight down the pipe for strike number 1. Quigley also looking to work quick on the mound, does not waste much time. He delivers. Harden back up the middle, and that's going to be a 2-out single. McLaughlin fields it, but the first hit of the season for Peyton Harden, and his first hit as a baller.
First hit as a professional as well.
And a professional.
All
There's a lot
sorts
of firsts. A lot of firsts today for both sides. We've talked about this being the first game ever for the Oakland Ballers. This is also the first game ever for the Range Riders when it comes to opening day being played at Glacier Bank Park.
Yeah, opening at home, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ballers fans. I know you're jealous that you don't get game number 1 at home. I'm sure the festivities will be just fine on June 4th, but, man, this is the first time ever it's happened. I've been with the team all 3 years, and it's so much better. Harden's going.
Plenty of speed. He takes off to second to throw. Not in time. It was a laser from Drew Sims. Andy Atwood was the one who applied the tag. So now a runner in scoring position for the Ballers, and the dangerous Austin Davis in the box, who is 3 for 3 today with 3 RBIs.
Yeah.
So it is
It's a strike.
an 0-1 count.
I thought that was called a ball.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting, because that means that Davis challenged that one.
Yep.
It's I don't know if I agree with challenging 0-0 pitches. It's really tough. You got to do ones that make the difference of balls and strikes.
And now one that was poked into right field. Harden making his way to home. This gives the Ballers the lead. Sims makes the tag. No, not in time. The speed from Peyton Harden allows the Ballers to regain the lead, but the crowd does not like it. Plenty of boos. Our home plate umpire, Brandon Snyder, says that he was safe.
That's a close play at home there. That is a close play at home there. Bang, bang call. I mean, yeah. Ballers back in front.
So Oakland with a 5-4 lead, top of the 6th inning. There's 2 outs for the Range Riders, but now another runner in scoring position. Davis and Harden will just switch places. So now Austin Davis on second.
He's already etching his name into the Ballers record book.
I mean, 4 for 4.
With 3 RBIs, I think?
Yep.
Yep.
Well, 4 now.
4?
It's now 4 RBIs after Harden touched the plate.
Yep.
You talk about a way to open up your season and open up your professional career. So now it's Dan Covino. He is still looking for his first hit as a ball in the dirt from Quigley, 1-1 count. But you have to be pleased if you're an Oakland fan. A lot of question marks. We've talked about it before the game. To an extent, you don't know what to expect, but I would say if you're a Ballers fan, there's a lot to be excited about.
Yeah. I mean, if nothing more than Davis, Harden speed, we've seen that. And the guy that we've circled in Dondre Hubbard hasn't really done much today. And man, I'm telling Ballers fans, during Missoula series, I had nightmares about Dondre Hubbard. You want him on your side rather than against you. You can't judge any team on one game.
Right.
Especially in baseball, where starting pitchers make up so much of what happens, and there's so many different variables.
Yeah.
But this is a more reassuring start than not for Oakland.
Well, I completely agree. 1-2 count, 2 outs for Quigley. Runner on second and Davis, and he will disengage off of the mound. That is Quigley's first disengagement of the inning. 5-4 your score, top of the 6th inning here at Glacier Bank Park. Pitch from Quigley, back up the middle, but Andy Atwood there. The throw to first in time for out number 3. So Davis is stranded at second, but the Ballers do take the lead. 5-4 your score. Oakland over Glacier, heading to the bottom of the 6th. Range Riders looking to find their bats. What a great opening day here at Glacier Bank Park. The first ever game as a franchise for the Oakland Ballers and the first ever game for the Range Riders at home on opening day. It has been a thriller so far. 5-4 your score in the bottom of the 6th inning. Jake Daly is on the mound for the Ballers. 2 innings of work, and he's done a great job for the Range Riders. They've had some big hits, 3 home runs that I mentioned, and Drew Sims, Andy Atwood, and Christian Kirtley. And it's Ben Fitzgerald who starts things off, and what a play. It's short from Miles Jefferson. Cue the SportsCenter Top 10 music. Wow. An acrobatic leap from deep in the middle infield for Jefferson. And correction, it is now Derek Cherry on the mound for the Ballers. So 1 pitch in, and he finds his first out. Tough pill to swallow for Ben Fitzgerald. He can't hit it much better, as that is strike number 1 to Drew Sims. So Miles Jefferson makes an incredible play to start this bottom of the 6th. As the ball skips past Horner behind the plate. Count even at 1-1 for Sims. Drew Sims, a story that we touched on, out for the entire season last year with a torn UCL. But his first AB this season for the Range Riders was a home run to right field. Pitch from Cherry, straight down the pipe for strike number 2. Cherry regathers on the mound. 1-2 count, 1 out, nobody on. Sims, a big swing and a miss. So the first punch out for Derek Cherry. Drew Sims is retired. And now 2 outs for the Ballers here in the bottom of the 6th. brings up J.D. McLaughlin, who's 0 for 2 today. And I'm still thinking about the incredible play made from Miles Jefferson over at short. So Cherry catches McLaughlin out in front for strike number 1. Now Derek Cherry coming in relief for Jake Daly, who did a great job after DeLeon's night was finished. Cherry has only thrown 5 pitches. As McLaughlin, high fly ball to center field. Harden is under it and makes the squeeze for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down for the new pitcher in Derek Cherry. And an incredible play from Miles Jefferson deep in the infield for the first out. We are heading to the top of the 7th. 5-4 your score. Oakland Ballers lead. A 5-4 ball game here at Glacier Bank Park, and a new pitcher on the mound for the Range Riders is going to be the 6'4" Connor Housley, who steps onto the hill. We mentioned Nick Zegna playing his college ball at Kennesaw State. Well, Connor Housley did the exact same thing, played 2 years with Kennesaw State. The first team he was at was the Tennessee Volunteers back in 2021. This is his 2nd season with the Glacier Range Riders. Back in 2023, had an impressive 3-1 record. The ERA 3.96 with 33 strikeouts. So Scott, another new pitcher on the mound for the Range Riders. What do you want to see?
Yeah, I mean, it's another new pitcher, but it's another returner from last year's Glacier Range Riders squad. Housley for him. Oh, is this one caught?
Oh, boy. The bat flipping everything. You can forget about it. The Ballers lead extended to 2, and Dondre Hubbard has come alive here in the top of the 7th. A moonshot for his first hit of the season.
That one charted at 392 feet off the bat. I mean, I told Oakland fans, I said, circle Dondre Hubbard. I'm telling you, you said it in the pregame. That man can hit a baseball, and he can hit it very well, and he has just made it a 2-run Ballers lead.
You mentioned Hubbard giving you nightmares.
Oh, yeah, they won't stop. Depending on how this 6-game series goes, those nightmares, they could last for all 96 games.
So a tough way to start your outing if you're Connor Housley. Now it's the first baseman in Noah Martinez in the box, 0 for 2 today. Top of the 7th, no outs, 1-1 count. Range Riders down by 2, 6-4 your score. Trevor Halsema on deck. Housley 1-2 pitch. Martinez loads up and fouls it back in the net. 1-2 still the count.
Yeah, the thing is, Connor Housley, I mean, maybe his walks were a little bit higher than he wanted last year, but home runs weren't really a problem. He only allowed 2 home runs last year, already half of that with just a couple pitches in.
Martinez, another foul ball. This one ripped about 5 yards past the first baseline. And we've seen the stingy effort from the Ballers throughout this game in the box.
Yeah, I mean, and that's led to kind of the small ball success that they've been having. They've just been finding ways to get RBI singles, RBI double. Andre Hubbard was the first real splash play they had.
Oh, and now another hard hit ball, but this one loops into shallow left field, and the catch is made by Gavin Tonkel. So Connor Housley bounces back after the leadoff home run from Andre Hubbard for out number 1 in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, now Halsema steps up. Again, Halsema, he's 0 for 2, but when you talk about just the stingy effort at the plate that the Ballers have had, I mean, he's part of it. 0 for 2,
Yeah.
but he's still got a walk as well and just been kind of a pest.
Yeah, and a player that you're familiar with because Halsema played with Idaho Falls 92 games. He only missed 4 for the entire season.
Yeah, and the Chuckers spoiled the Range Riders' final home series last year.
Yeah.
They swept the Range Riders, even though the Range Riders had the second best record in the league last year, and the Chuckers had what was the worst. They still showed up, and you know, Halsema knows how to win here at this ballpark. He proved it at the end of last year.
Well, Housley is making quick work right now on Halsema. 0-2 count with 1 out, 6-4, top of the 7th. Housley delivers, and way out in front was Halsema down the third base line. So correction, 2-1. Oh, and now this one rolled on the carpet. Dennison fields it, makes the throw over for out number 2. Good job by Connor Housley to respond. Brings up Jalen Smith, but you have to admire the resilient effort we saw from Nick Zegna starting, but now Housley after giving up that moonshot.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes it happens. You're in, you just finished warming up, and you just leave one over the plate, and Andre Hubbard's the worst guy to do that to. That one was called a ball, I think, but according to the strike zone I have in front of me, it was in the zone. If it would have been a challenge, it would have been correct. But again, doing it on an 0-0 pitch, we've not seen that much.
Yeah. 2-0 the count. Now for Housley, Jalen Smith 0 for 2 today. Housley just needs 1. 1 out, that is. Now 3-0 the count. 14 pitches in total for the reliever. Smith ahead 3-0 and keeps the bat on his shoulders for a strike called high in the zone. Some chin music, if you will, from Connor Housley. And now a foul ball off Smith. The Oakland Ballers have scored in every inning of this game except for the third. They scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the 6th, 2 in the 4th. That was the big inning. Then obviously the home run from Hubbard to start this one. So now full count. Payoff pitch. Housley delivers, and off the nub of the bat, it stays fair. About as shallow right field as you're going to get. Halsema holds up, and a single with 2 outs for the Ballers. Unlucky if you're Housley there. It's a good pitch.
Yeah, I mean, a late swing there. Really, you know, that one goes off the bat at 60 miles per hour, and just I mean, we have a great shot down this third base line, or the first base line. We could see that one just kind of is hanging solid, and as soon as it hit the ground, that's when it took its dip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was steadfast on staying fair.
Housley, first pitch is a ball on Colton Horner. Horner looking for his first hit of the game. 0 for 2 today. Oh, a quick pick back to first. First base umpire Steele Rogers says that Halsema is safe. It's a good job by Housley. Castillo applied the tag. 1-0. Top of the 7th, 2 outs. Runner takes off, heading to second. Drew Sims throws, and it gets behind Dennison, but the runner in Hausmo holds up. So runner in scoring position now for the Ballers, and an RBI chance for Horner. And we've seen the Ballers be aggressive on the base pads as well, Scott.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you know, Michael Franklin came down, and I mean, when we talked to him, he said they're not really afraid of anything. They're not overwhelmed by the moment, and so seemingly kind of exactly that. They're not intimidated coming into the beautiful house that is Glacier Bank Park.
Yeah,
they're coming after it.
Well, that's a great point. We were able to talk with Micah Franklin, the head coach of the Ballers, as Housley misses wide, and you're exactly right. He talked about, although this team is fairly young, they're ready to play. They're not scared of the moment whatsoever. A delightful conversation with the head coach for the first-year team in the Ballers in the Pioneer League. Housley straight down the pipe for a strike.
Yeah, the tough one. It's tough to look at the TrackMan strike zone on this one because the last 2 pitches both caught the zone.
Yeah.
And so you're looking at, you know, 2 challenges you don't want to burn.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're important ones that kind of could shift this at bat, could really shift the feel of this game.
So 3-1 count with 2 outs. Runner on second, and the pitch just misses inside. We're not going to see a challenge.
That one hit the zone as well.
Yeah.
According to TrackMan.
That's a good pitch from Connor Housley, and now pitching coach Mike Koltak will make his way to the mound. This is not a pitching change, likely just a conversation.
Nobody even warming up in the bullpen right now, so it's really just trying to get Housley back on track. He allowed that early home run in the second pitch of his outing to Dondre Hubbard, but since then, I mean, looked solid, got two outs, but you know, the Tide never get too comfortable. Never get too comfortable.
You're exactly right. And runners first and second, Housley on the second base bag, and now it's Colton Horner on the first base bag. It brings up Miles Jefferson in the box. If you're Housley, you're just trying to limit the damage. All you need is one more out to head to the bottom frame. 6-4 score, top of the 7th, 2 outs as I mentioned. A fresh count for Miles Jefferson and Connor Housley. Housley delivers, and it gets Miles Jefferson on the bat. So a hit by pitch on the first pitch from Housley, and the bases are loaded for the Ballers.
Well, it's like I just said, the game could very much change its feel. Right now, where we are at, in a 6-4 ball game, the Oakland Ballers lead the Glacier Range Riders. Right now, it still seems Range Riders are within striking distance. They have some home run pop. They've shown that today. They can come within. They can bring it close in the swing of a bat. But as that one goes foul, I mean, a good clutch hit by Harden here really could turn the tides.
Oh, and here's the thing. You feel like you have to get this out if you're the Range Riders, because guess who's on deck? It's Austin Davis, who's 4 for 4 today. You talk about an incredible outing. Davis has had that. Housley delivers the 0-1, and a big swing and a miss from Peyton Harden. Down in the count, 0-2. 3 ducks on a pond for the Ballers, and a huge opportunity for Oakland to extend their lead. Connor Housley just trying to get out of the jam. Housley's 0-2 pitch outside.
Harden has reached all 4 times tonight. He's only 1 for 3.
Yeah.
But he's got a walk. He's got a single. He reached on an error that was, you know, one of those close plays that could have been scored a hit as well. And he grounded into a fielder's choice. He's gotten on base.
He finds a way. And a big swing and a miss. And Connor Housley finds a way to get out of the jam. Bases loaded. It doesn't matter. 3 runners stranded for the Ballers. We're heading to the bottom of the 7th. 6-4 your score. Glacier Range Riders looking to at least even this one up.
Welcome back here. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. It is Derek Cherry back on the bump for the Oakland Ballers. The third pitcher in their franchise's history. He's going to face 8-9-1 in the form of Tonkel, Daly, and Andy Atwood. Right now, Tonkel steps in. We've seen some great defense from him out there in left field, but he has a strikeout and a bunt out today. Range Rider faithful. Will be begging for some offense. A swing and a miss from Tonkel starts it off. Count goes to 0-1. Up in the booth here, we are enjoying our first Ballpark Bites segment.
Yeah, we are.
A little bit later than we would have hoped. We got some rumbling stomachs here as that one misses the zone and the count goes to 1-1. It is bison burgers that we're chewing down on today. A Montana classic. Not your first bison burger,
No.
David, but how's the Ballpark one treating you?
Oh, it tastes amazing, especially when you're starting like I was. I had 2 peanut butter sandwiches this morning. I was ready to get some real food in my system.
Sustenance.
Yeah.
We survive on sustenance. 1 ball, 2 strikes after a swing and a miss from Tonkel. Cherry will set to fire once more in his professional debut. Called up high. Ooh. Maybe. The catcher Horner should have challenged that one. He would have got a punch out for his pitcher.
Yeah.
Those differences between walks and strikeouts, that's when you want to use the challenges. Swing and a miss. Well, doesn't matter in the end. Strikeout for Tonkel. He goes down swinging. Up comes John Daly, who's 0 for 2 with a line out and a pop out.
And we've seen this offense throughout this game heat up in a flurry. So there's no reason to panic, but obviously it is that point in the game where you want to start to see some consistency in the box.
John Daly, swings and misses at that one. He takes big old swings. Just John Daly. Mentioned last year, played for the High Point Rockers in the Atlantic League. The Atlantic League, another MLB partner league. A lot more ex-MLBers, a lot more experience allowed in that league, as this one is a high foul ball. Count goes to 0-2 as that one's going to end up in the pocket of a fan that has made their way out. Just past the 9 o'clock hour. Well, not just past, but it's the 9:19 hour here, or 9:19 o'clock. Whatever I'm trying to say.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
0-2, 1 out from Cherry to Daly. Swing and a miss. Derek Cherry. I mean, you can't write a better professional debut than what he's written. But right now, he will face the top of the lineup as Andy Atwood steps in.
And really, you look at both relievers for Oakland in this game. They have done a tremendous job. Talk about not just eating innings, but doing a great job while they're doing it. The Range Riders, don't forget, they were red hot to start this game.
3 home runs, 4 runs in the first 3 innings. De Leon gets subbed off, and the next thing you know, the Oakland arms are sizzling, trying to write a storybook debut for them all the way up in northwest Montana here at Glacier Bank Park. 1-0 count on Atwood. That one misses inside, just the exact same placement as the last pitch. Count goes to 2-0. Derek Cherry has made very quick work of it. Andy Atwood 2 for 3 in his Range Rider debut. A single and a homer. Grounded out his last time up, however. Foul ball makes the count 2-1.
And I think Andy Atwood, at least to me, has been the most impressive Range Rider in this game. You look at what he's done on both sides of the ball. It's been tremendous.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Very good second baseman, middle infielder. Squares down to bunt. Trying to catch the Ballers' defense off balance. Not going to do it there. Bottom of the 7th, 6-4. Oakland leads Glacier in the opening game of the 2024 season. Range Riders in their 3rd season of existence, hoping that 3rd time's a charm. The Ballers, well, they would love to do what the Range Riders did in their first game of existence and take a win. Range Riders open their season on a Monday night in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and they got a resounding victory. This one hit well out to right field, and a jumping catch by the right fielder, Davis, out there. As if he hasn't been impressive enough on offense, he makes the play on defense. The Ballers, right now they're balling. We head to the 8th. It's 6-4 Oakland.
I ain't got it yet. We need to get it. We got these lows. We need one right now. We got to get that yet. Oh, yes, all right. But I got 6.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Top of the 8th inning here, a pitching change for the Glacier Range Riders. On comes one of the more kind of long, dramatic, drawn-out storylines that we might see this season, and that is Seth Pinkerton coming to the mound here. Seth Pinkerton, David, has not appeared in a game since 2018.
Yeah.
But before that, he was a pretty good ball player.
He was good. He did a lot of really good things.
This is a perfect bunt down the third base line, and it's going to go fair. I don't know what just happened, as the throw into second will not get him. That was a bunt double. What just happened? I don't know if that was a glitch, a video game glitch or what, but running up on that was Christian Kirtley,
Yeah.
and for some reason he just decided to abort mission and let that one slide by third base. Maybe he was seeing the brown of the turf as the foul line and just, I don't know.
I mean, this was a perfect bunt placed, but you see Christian Curley in the third base line. He steps over it on purpose. It wasn't on accident, and that is a very tough break for the Range Riders.
Especially to open the inning, as that one misses low to Dan Covino. And your Austin Davis update, he's now 5 for 5.
Yeah.
And he is, without a doubt at this point, the best player in franchise history.
He has had an incredible night.
This one, a high fly ball to left field. Tonka will stop. Now drift back in a little bit of a sketchy kind of play. The throw back to second almost doubles off the runner. Maybe he was trying to deke the runner, but it looked more like he was just trying to sketch us out in the booth.
These runners got to be careful.
Yeah,
Ballers.
After a good, maybe a little bit, they were going to get probably the bunt single, but that's a bunt double. After that, you can't shoot yourself in the foot. Davis right there almost got a little bit too greedy, but ends up getting back in time. Pinkerton with one out now, the first out he's recorded since 2018. We didn't really even get to talk about it because that bunt happened, but really good collegiate player at Hartford, which was Division I at the time. Ended up getting drafted in the 20th round of the 2018 draft. Spent time at the Elizabethton Appalachians a affiliated minor league at the time, and just some freak injuries have taken him from a guy that had an MLB aspirations possibly to now throwing a pitch that was probably a wild pitch. Makes the count 2-0. It's a very unique story. Everybody has a different one that leads them here.
Yeah.
But for Pinkerton, it's been a long and turbulent road, a lot of recovery, and he's probably said goodbye to his baseball career at least once, probably twice. And here he is. He showed up at the MLB offseason, or the Pioneer League offseason tryout camp, was drafted by the Range Riders, and here he is making the opening day roster.
And what I love, too, is we heard Henry Hunter, commissioner of the Pioneer League. Oh.
Drew Sims going to throw this one back, and they don't place the tag in time on Davis, who ends up scoring, and that was all worked himself. A bunt double, followed by a wild pitch, followed by another wild pitch. I assume that makes it 7-4 here on what is turning more and more into an inauspicious opening night at Glacier Bank Park. A 4-pitch walk to Dondre Hubbard. (7-4) the score line. Oakland leads Glacier. 1 out, top of the 8th inning.
I mean, really, when you look at what the Ballers have done today, it's been Austin Davis.
Yeah.
That double is what got this inning started. He has been the spark plug. He's the Energizer Bunny.
That one misses the zone. Just inside. Count goes to 1-0. Pinkerton. Biggest thing about being off from playing competitive baseball for so long probably is keying in on the strike zone. As this one is swung on down the left field line, trotting over is Tonkel. And it'll end up being foul out of play.
And you talked about the journey for Seth Pinkerton. Getting back to my point, we had Henry Hunter in here, the commissioner of the Pioneer League, and he talked about the Pioneer League being the front door. I think Pinkerton is a perfect example of that. A guy with plenty of talent, but he needed somebody to give him a shot being out that long, and now he's got his opportunity.
1 ball, 1 strike, pick off over to first. Nearly caught Hubbard leaning the wrong way. 7-4 scoreline. Oakland leads Glacier. This is the first game in Oakland's franchise history. Right now trying to play spoiler for the Range Riders, who are opening at home for the first time in franchise history. Misses off the shoe tops. Count goes to 2 balls, 1 strike. Take a look around the Pioneer League. Look at other scores going on. We haven't updated on you on that in a while. Northern Colorado leads the defending champions Ogden 9-5. Billings, the defending runner-ups, they lead Great Falls 8-6 in Great Falls. This one hit on the ground, a chance for 2. Throw for 1, and the throw for 2 is not in time. It will be a fielder's choice that Noah Martinez will ground into. The Missoula Paddleheads in the top of the 9th inning in Idaho Falls, they are down 6-3 right now, which that would be a little bit of a shocking scoreline.
Yeah.
One of the best overall record in the regular season last year, Missoula, versus one of the worst in Idaho Falls. Grand Junction and Boise are all knotted at 5 apiece, and in the bottom of the 5th, an hour behind us in Davis, California, YOLO is up by 1 run on Rocky Mountain. They're looking to win their debut. A swing and a miss makes the count 0-1 to Trevor Halsema, who's 0 for 3. That one misses low and in. Count goes to 1-1.
There's so much parity in the league. You're going to see upsets a good bit. That's the beauty of baseball, and especially this league.
2 balls, 1 strike. I'm sure fans will tune in tomorrow night. And some respects, it might look like a completely different game tomorrow night.
Yeah.
You just never know, as that one's a called strike. The matchup we have on the mound is Jonathan Pintaro versus Tyler Davis. Not Austin Davis. How freaky would that be if he just started on the mound too and just ripped the Range Riders to shreds that way? Punchy on strike 3. And that ends the inning. That one in the zone as one more comes across. Davis scores another run. The Oakland Ballers continue their scoring in nearly every inning. And we head to the bottom of the 8th. Range Riders down 3. Welcome back. Leading off the bottom of the 8th inning is the Glacier Range Riders, number 23, Mason Dennison. It is Dennison, Castillo, and Kirtley due up. Dennison 0 for 1, but he does have two walks. I think he changed his walk-up song. I'm trying to think. Yeah, his walk-up song.
What it is.
His walk-up song last year was "High Above Water," which that was not that. So change the walk-up song for Mason. Big swing and a miss for Mason. Count goes to 0-1.
Man, that's a great pitch, high and inside. Really tough to catch up to, especially for a right-handed batter.
Got a new pitcher on the bump for the Ballers. It is Carson Lambert. Lambert, I believe, is actually slated to be a starter later in this series as that one misses. Yes, he is slated to be the starter on Saturday night. So when we talked to Micah Franklin down during bad practice, he said everybody's hot, including Saturday and Sunday starters. And we're seeing exactly that. Lambert going here on opening day. This one, a high fly ball down the right field line. Chasing over is Austin Davis, and he's able to make the catch. He continues to sizzle at Glacier Bank Park.
And a big reason why Oakland has had this lead has been the athleticism. You talk about the bunt double, but the plays that have been made in the field have been ridiculous. Miles Jefferson, an incredible play at shortstop, and then the speed out in right field by Davis. That is not an easy ball to track whatsoever because he's tucked in to right center field. That was a long way.
Yeah, that was an opposite way hit as Castillo now steps in. 1 for 2 tonight is Castillo with a double. That one smacked the opposite way down the left field line. Foul ball. Count goes to 0-1.
And obviously the tension is rising for the Range Riders now. Bottom of the 8th inning. You don't have that much more time.
Yeah, 5 outs right now as it stands. Check swing. He went around. And the count goes to 0-2. Carson Lambert. He is previously from the Reds organization, the Cincinnati Reds. Spent most recently with the Reds in the Arizona Complex League. 0-2 coming in from Lambert. Foul ball. Castillo stays alive. Lambert listed at 6'4", 200 pounds. He's a California kid from Thousand Oaks, California. Off the plate, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now as we get into this latter part of the game too, especially in a close game, 7-4 right now. In theory, if we went to the bottom of the 7th like this, it would be a save situation, a closing situation.
Yep.
We're going to see those challenges pop out a lot more.
No, 100%.
It's pretty much the philosophy has to be, use them.
Yeah.
Use them. It's you're not penalized if you use all your challenges. So I'm sure on some punch-out pitches or some walk pitches, we might see it come up. Some tap of the heads and some challenges. This one hit on the ground over towards third, fielded by Covino. Covino throws across the diamond and on target for out number 2. 2 gone as Christian Kirtley steps up.
And right now, you're seeing it really throughout with the relief pitching. They have been ahead in almost all of the counts. For the Range Riders, the adjustment you have to make is be aggressive. It might be the first pitch of the AB, but they're filling up the zone. They're clearly making it a priority. We want to throw strikes early. They're not flirting outside much. And you see a big hack there. I think that's the adjustment you try and make.
Swing and a miss there by Kirtley. Count goes to 0-1. 2 outs, bases empty. Bottom of the 8th inning. Oakland leads Glacier 7-4. The hits are 9-5. Oakland. Glacier has the 1 error of the game. This one's a foul ball, and it is 0-2. The Ballers getting ahead in the count.
Yeah, you see it. Carson Lambert, quick work on the mound. They're not wasting time flirting outside the zone.
Since the Range Riders made it 4-2, it has been 5 unanswered runs by Oakland here. 0-2. Upstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It was a
or
big,
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, it was a big third inning for Glacier. But outside of that, give credit to what Oakland's been able to do.
Mm-hmm. Try and dart it back here. That one misses. Counts 2-2. I got 9 straight retired by the Oakland Ballers pitchers. Range Rider bats have been cold as that one missed. The last hit was Castillo. As the count goes full, 3-2, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. I'm guessing if this is anything in a borderline kind of zone, we're going to see a challenge.
Yeah.
That's my Tony Romo prediction.
Yeah, seam route for Gronk.
That one misses low, and it is ball 4. It was kind of close, but not really. Clear ball.
Yeah.
And Kirtley earns himself a walk.
Good job. Plate discipline at its finest. You're behind in the count 0-2, and Kirtley works himself all the way to a walk. Just staying alive. If it's with 2 outs, no outs, it doesn't matter. You're just trying to get yourself back into this game.
2 outs now, bottom of the 8th inning. Ben Fitzgerald 0 for 3 tonight, but he hasn't been necessarily not swinging the bat well. He's hit it hard, as this one is hit hard. High ball to right field. Completely lost by the right fielder because it is gone. Goodbye, baseball. Ben Fitzgerald has reignited the Flathead faithful with a 106-mile-per-hour, 442-foot home run. Atta kid, Fitz. Wow. That ball had a family.
You would think that Austin Davis out in right field was a statue. As soon as the ball left the bat, he didn't move. He knew it was gone. Ben Fitzgerald, you talk about a swing. Talk about waking up the fans, waking up the opposing team. That woke me up for sure up in the box. Goodness.
Sounded like a gunshot went off the barrel. 1-0 count, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th inning.
Wow.
It's been home runs galore for the Range Riders. Just 1 for the Ballers, and they haven't really needed it. They're up 7-6, but yeah, home runs do tend to help you score runs. 7-6 scoreline. Drew Sims has himself a round tripper. That one said to have missed low. Challenge would have overturned that one to a strike if the catcher, Horner, would have opted to do so. Catchers, pitchers, and batters can all challenge pitch calls. This one swung on, foul ball. Count goes to 2-2. Sims, his first day as a professional, he woke up, caught a plane in L.A., got here, got entered into the starting lineup, doubled in his first at-bat, homered in his second at-bat. And here, after a year off from injury, he homered in his first at-bat back. Can he find some more magic? That one said to have missed low. And again, Horner opts not to challenge. Again, he would have got that one overturned to a strike. Ballers maybe being a little more conservative than they would have wanted. That would have ended the 8th inning. Let's see if it comes back to haunt him. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Payoff pitch. Swung on. High fly ball to right field. Davis will stop. He'll still be backpedaling. He'll get to the fringes of the warning track before coming up with the catch. That one maybe could add a little bit more carry on it. But in the end, the Range Riders will take the 2-run blast by Ben Fitzgerald, a 442-foot tank that puts us at a 1-run game heading into the 9th. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, you didn't use it, right? No, we only have 3. We only have 2 left. Yeah, hey, I got to talk to Trevor about that. We got to start. We're going to save the one for next year. If we have to leave. Now, use it if you need it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have waited a long offseason for the 9th inning, our first 9th inning of 2024, and here it is. The drama couldn't get much higher than this. The Oakland Ballers in their first game of existence with a 1-run lead right now trying to add insurance, while on the other side, the Range Riders. It's been a home run derby for them, down by 1 run as this one is ripped and fair down the left field line. Immediately, Jack Lynch is stung up there as his first pitch as a Range Rider goes for a double to Jalen Smith. We should say there's a new pitcher that I just mentioned, Jack Lynch. He's into the ball game. The left-hander is going to have sort of a late inning kind of closing role. First pitch didn't go as according to plan, but he's somebody that head coach Paul Fletcher and the rest of the Range Riders are really high on.
Well, yeah, and they should be, because Jack Lynch was drafted in the 19th round, the MLB draft, by the St. Louis Cardinals. And now here with the Range Riders, a guy right now in a close ball game, you're hoping that you can keep this a 1-run game heading into the bottom of the 9th. But Oakland not doing any favors with that leadoff double. Brad
Burkell now will pinch hit into the contest for Colton Harner. This might be a designated pinch hitter role, which again, if you're a Baller fan, you're new to the Pioneer League, because that's a ball outside. Each team is designated one designated pinch hitter, designated pinch runner per game, and that is a person that can come in. If it's a designated pinch hitter, they can take one at bat, and then the previous player can return back to the game.
Yep.
So right here, it's actually kind of interesting because they're putting Burkell in, who's a lefty, to face off against the lefty Lynch, who finds the zone. Count goes to 1-1. 1-1, no outs, runner on second. So I'm guessing Horner might return to the game. They also have Tyler Lozano to come in and play catch. 1-1. Upstairs. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Nobody warming up in the pen that I can see right now for Oakland. So maybe it will be Lambert that will come on and try and get the save, try and finish out the save, despite allowing a 2-run blast. 2 balls, 1 strike, no outs, runner on second. Swung on, foul ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs, top of the 9th inning, 7-6, Oakland leads Glacier. 9:48 right now in the Mountain Time Zone. We know you're listening from all over the country. Sea to shining sea, truly the representation that these players cover, as well as now, for the first time ever, the Pioneer League is in 2 different time zones.
Yeah.
3 balls, 2 strikes. That one misses up and in. No outs, top of the 9th. On second, Smith is waiting. See what he can do with the pitch. 3-2. Foul ball. Skips off of Drew Sims' face mask. We stay 3-2. Range Riders. They have some bats available off the bench as well. We'll see what they try and do in terms of pinch hitting. We've seen the bottom of the lineup maybe hasn't produced as much as they want in McLaughlin, Tonkel, and Daly. The outfield trio, they played well in the outfield. Just the bats haven't come alive yet. A little look back to get Smith flying back into second. Smith's family back in Georgia, nearing the midnight hour. Unfortunately for all those East Coast listeners, You might as well get used to it. Ball upstairs and a walk. Burkell finds himself aboard. And now Miles Jefferson will step in, batting in the second leadoff spot, the 9-hole. Strikeout swinging his last time up, but a single and a walk as well. He's 1 for 2.
Yeah, and won't be shocked if you see a bunt placed here for Jefferson. No outs, 2 runners on. It's the likely move.
Good call. Corners are going to pinch in. We see Castillo, the Range Riders first baseman, standing on the edge of that infield cut. It is a turf field here at Glacier Bank Park, so you don't have actual grass to stand on the edge of. Hey, he might have had a swing away call there, or at least a take pitch, a take sign on. As he watched that one go outside, count goes to 1-0, no outs. Runners on first and second. It is a textbook sacrifice bunt type situation. That one called a ball. Count goes to 2-0. Maybe they'll just let Lynch pitch himself into trouble, as he did by walking Burkell. Range Riders trying to capture that two-run home run in the bottom of the 8th and use it for some momentum here. 2-0 pitch. They're saying that was a ball, and it is 3-0. Wow, that one hit the top of the strike zone according to TrackMan.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good pitch from Lynch. There's nothing you can do about it. Unless you challenge it, of course, but, I mean, a 2-0 count.
Now 3-0.
And now 3-0.
Blast that one's down the zone. Gets the get-me-over pitch. But the count's still 3-1. I am really surprised that we didn't see Miles Jefferson put it down. We've seen good kind of small ball from Oakland and just good base running, disciplined hitting. This one is up the middle, and this is going to backfire because they really should have done something different than that on a 3-1 hitters count. It's a 4-6-3 double play. Atwood to Dennison to Castillo, and we got 2 gone, but a runner on third for Oakland. That's the best case scenario for Lynch and the Range Riders.
It's huge and a great pitch from Lynch. Understanding the situation, you're trying to get the batter to roll over something. You want the double play. We talked to head coach Micah Franklin from the Ballers before this game. He told us he's going to let them play, but again, situational batting, you would really think with no outs, the runner on first and second, if there's a time to place a bunt, it was then.
Swing and a miss. Count goes to 0-1, 2 outs. Yeah. It could all be a wash in the end if the Ballers close this one out, but it's one of those that you don't want to look back on and say, why didn't we do more with that? 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, top of the 9th inning. I'm sure there is plenty of fans back in the Bay Area, Range Riders fans that are maybe listening on the radio. A lot of people right now that are kind of that are waiting on every pitch here in the 9th inning of game number 1.
Yep.
It doesn't feel like it right now when you're in, not even a full game into the season, but it is a 96-game schedule. So
nice
one loss does not define what's going to happen. But starting with a win sure does feel good.
Oh, absolutely, especially on opening day.
2-1 upstairs.
And the other questionable thing to me is you have Austin Davis on deck.
You can't say that name to me anymore.
And, I mean, obviously, you're hoping, and I'm hoping the Range Riders can get out of this jam, but if you're a Ballers fan,
3-1 finds the zone. Count's going to go full.
You want Davis in the box, and you would most likely have him in the box at least with 2 outs if you place that bunt.
Yeah. Hopefully Micah Franklin doesn't have nightmares about that one. 3 balls, 2 strikes, a pitch in. Call the ball way inside.
Well, Davis still makes his way to the box.
Let me go over the stat line for Austin Davis. If you just tuned in, Austin Davis, the number 2 hitter for the Oakland Ballers in his first game as a Baller. Davis is 5 for 5. That's an OPS of 2.4 right now.
Goodness.
3 singles, 2 doubles, 4 RBIs, and 1 run scored. First pitch, call the ball outside. A 6 for 6 day would be
incredible.
I mean, that might be a franchise record that might hold for a long time for the Ballers.
Yeah.
6 hits in 1 game. But we'll see. That one hits the zone, called strike. Count goes to 1-1.
And if you're Jack Lynch right now, you're pitching aggressive. I get it. Austin Davis has played insane, about as good as you can get. But attack the zone. Be confident. You don't want the bases loaded.
Davis just challenged that, and it was very clearly in the zone. So he just lost the challenge for them. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite the Ballers. Foul ball. Got to wonder kind of the how that affects your head space, too, when you challenge it and you realize, oh, I just took, a challenge away from the team.
Yeah, especially given a 1-run game. If you're in the bottom of the 9th with 1 run, you definitely want as many challenges as you can get on the defensive end.
Timeout called by Austin Davis. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Davis. Could he get his 5th RBI, possibly a base hit would give it to him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A 7-6 ball game. Oakland leads. Top of the 9th here. Range Riders would love to go to the bottom half of this inning, down by just 1 run. A big 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. For the first time tonight, Davis goes down. He comes up empty. The Range Riders will send up 7, 8, and 9 in the bottom of the 9th, down by 1. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. Due up for the Range Riders. It's J.D. McLaughlin, Gavin Tonkel, and John Daly. 3 debutants in Range Rider uniforms, but 3 guys that have played high-level baseball. First pitch into McLaughlin is a foul ball. Count goes to 0-1. McLaughlin, a fly out, a bunt out, and another fly out. He's 0 for 3 tonight. This is a guy that spent time in the Rockies organization. He played for Spokane last year, not too far away from here. As he swings and misses at that one, count goes to 0-2. It is Carson Lambert out there to finish it off. He would receive a save if he's able to finish off this game despite allowing the 2-run blast to Ben Fitzgerald. 0 for 2, or 0-2 count, excuse me, as that one misses up high. The Range Riders also have all 3 challenges remaining, I believe.
Huge.
Oakland has 2, so a lot can happen. Swings on this one. Going to be deep down the third base line. The throw across the diamond is in time for out number 1. Good throw by Dan Cavino. It skipped a couple times, but it didn't have enough velocity on it where Noah Martinez can handle it off of the turf. Up comes to Gavin Tonkel now. He has 2 strikeouts and a bunt out.
And that throw from Cavino, you're right, it was deep in the third base line. It spit the ground twice. It was close, and McLaughlin had a chance.
Swing and a miss by Tonkel.
Now, we've seen the Range Riders get a hold of Connor Lambert in that last inning. Hope for more of the same here.
0-1. Swing and a miss. Count goes to 0-2. We got a new batter warming up, a pinch hitter on deck. It's Nick Block that is in the on-deck circle. He will come in for John Daly. Count is 0-2 with 1 out. Nobody on right now, but 1 swing of the bat changes this one. Called a ball. I'm kind of surprised Oakland's not going to challenge that one. It did miss.
Yeah.
And so that would have been a lost challenge if Oakland would have tried. Great call by the home plate umpire there in Brandon Snyder. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. That one is called.
Oh,
He
man.
should have challenged that one. Oh, that's.
Oh, and are they not going to challenge?
They're not going to challenge that one, and it wouldn't miss the zone.
Oh, man. And that one definitely,
It's quite a ways off the plate.
it's not very close.
And
That's
it's
a ball.
It goes down as a called strike 3. There are 2 outs, and again, Nick Block comes in now as a pinch hitter. Last chance for the Range Riders on opening night. Swings on the first pitch, fouls it back. Nick Block is a rookie out of Southeastern University, originally from Woodstock, Georgia, 24 years old. Southeastern University is an NAI powerhouse. The Fire appear in the NAI World Series pretty much every year. That one called a strike.
And right now, you're getting a friendly outside edge from Brandon Snyder, and it's a good job from Lambert understanding that. He's going to the same exact spot in the zone.
0-2. Swing and a miss. And that's the ball game. Oakland wins on their first game as a professional franchise. A dream start for the Ballers. 7-6 the final score. Oakland gets the win. The Range Riders will go home on night 1 empty-handed.
And obviously a tough loss for the Range Riders. They'll be able to bounce back tomorrow. But tip your hat to the Oakland Ballers and what they were able to do. We saw, an understatement would be insane, but an incredible game from Austin Davis. The relief pitching was dynamite, stepping in after Brian DeLeon. And look, this is a team, a lot of question marks, very small sample size, only 1 game in. But fans of Oakland now have a sense of what this team will start to look like.
They got a sense of the team and the league. We'll talk a little bit more when we come back on the Glacier Range Riders post-game report. 7-6, the final score. Oakland takes their first game ever as a professional franchise. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Glacier Range Riders post-game report. The final score of this one, the Oakland Ballers get the win 7-6 over the Glacier Range Riders. It was a professional outing from an Oakland Ballers squad that is quite a bit youthful in terms of the professional experience. Take a look at the scoring summary. It was right away. Harden got on base, and Austin Davis was doubled to get him around to score in the next half inning. Jefferson had an RBI single to score Trevor Halsema, but the Range Riders struck back. It looked like they were getting into that flow. The veterans seemed to come through. Drew Sims a solo shot. Andy Atwood a solo shot. Then Kirtley with a 2-run blast, and the Range Riders led 4-2. However, 5 unanswered runs by the Ballers, an Austin Davis 2 RBI single, an Austin Davis RBI double, a Dondre Hubbard solo home run, and then Austin Davis, if you haven't heard his name enough, he scored on a wild pitch, made it 7-4. Ben Fitzgerald added to the home run show with a 2-run blast in the bottom of the 8th, but that was all the Range Riders could muster up as they went down in order in the bottom of the 9th. The winning pitcher, I believe, will be Derek Cherry via the scorer's decision. It looked like he was the most effective reliever as De Leon did not pitch the required amount of innings. De Leon, the starter, finished with 3 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Cherry with 2 innings pitched, no earned runs. He came out of the pen and performed really well in what I believe was his professional debut. Lambert is going to get the save for 2 innings, allowing 2 earned runs. The loss will go to Nick Zegna with 3 1/3, 3 earned runs. Sky Gladstone here with you. Alongside me is David Holvey. David, let's start with the good. Yeah. And that was the Oakland Ballers. We talked about kind of the professional outing that they had despite the youth. Right away you could see it. Their plan was they didn't need to muscle the ball out of the ballpark. Dondre Hubbard obviously knows how to do that, and he did that. But for the most part, they got guys on base. They drove pitch counts up. Yeah. And they made it work for him, right?
Yeah, and Nick Zegna obviously got into trouble early with those walks, 6 in total, and a big part of that was because the Ballers were very disciplined. Sometimes you might think with guys that are just coming out of college or only 1 year, might be a bit guns a-blazing, but I really thought top to bottom the Oakland roster showed just how professional they are. This team is no joke. This roster is no joke. And Austin Davis, my goodness, he is insane. That guy is going places.
The other pitchers that made appearances for the Glacier Range Riders, after Nick Zegna, Montana Quigley came in, gave 2 2/3 innings of work, allowed 1 earned run over that time. Seth Pinkerton, in his first competitive game since 2018, was able to come in there and throw an inning, did allow a run that was earned. Connor Housley allowed the solo shot to Dondre Hubbard, and Jack Lynch got himself into trouble, but got out of it. Allowed 2 walks and a hit, but left the bases, or left the Ballers off the home base, a.k.a. they didn't score a run. On the other side, I mean, there was some pitching, but at the end of the day, the Range Riders finished with 6 hits, I believe.
Yep.
6 hits and 6 runs. In terms of hits that weren't home runs, there was 1. Yeah. No, there was 2. Castillo had that double. Atwood had a single. Other than that, it was 4 home runs that made up their 6 total runs. So for the Range Riders, it's got to start with just getting more guys on base, right?
It does. I think you can look at it from 2 different perspectives. The good part of it is we got guys that can swing the bat and go yard. There's no doubt about the power and the order. That's a nice thing to have. But what we did see in this game, at times, a couple strikeouts in big moments, you'd like to see them choke up on the barrel a little bit and find a way on base. You also look at it, the Ballers made some incredible defensive plays. I didn't think that, it was a matter of the Range Riders struggling with the bats. I thought the athleticism was on display big time from Oakland. I can't help but think about that play from Miles Jefferson and then some of the plays from Davis out in right field where they have top-end speed and they're able to clothesline in the outfield and deep in the infield. So, yeah, it's a tough loss for the Range Riders, but there are positives that you can take from this, and we've already said it. It's a long season, 96 games worth. You make your adjustments, and you move on to the next.
Well, let's update you from some scores around the Pioneer League. We'll do that when we come back. It's opening night. We didn't know what we were going to see when we started the game tonight.
No.
We also don't know what we were going to see when we looked around the Pioneer League tonight. We're going to tell you all about that. Some wackiness going on, and a little spoiler alert. I think we had 2 knockout rounds tonight.
Uh-oh.
So buckle up. We'll be right back with a little Pioneer League scoreboard, and we'll wrap this baby up from Glacier Bank Park. All right, folks. Scott Gladstone and David Holvey with you here in the press box high above Glacier Bank Park as we close this Glacier Range Riders baseball game out. Opening night did not go the way the Range Riders wanted it to go. A 7-6 loss. Oakland, a dream start in their first game as a professional franchise. The Range Riders know that all too well. They got a big win against the Rocky Mountain Vibes in their first ever history, in their first ever game in history. 7-6, Oakland starts it off 1-0. They're, I don't know if we call them their sister team, their rival team. We're still trying to figure that out. But whoever they are to them, the team that they have to play a lot this season down there in California, the YOLO High Wheelers in YOLO County, which is Davis, California, in the Sacramento area. They are leading 4-3 over the Rocky Mountain Vibes right now in the top of the 6th. That game still has a lot of action to go. We'll be able to keep tabs on that one. If you're a late, a night owl, that's what people that stay up late are called. If you're a night owl, you'll be able to watch the end of that one. But what I would advise is that you check on the Grand Junction Boise game right now. It's 5-5, bottom of the 9th, and the winning run is on 3rd right now for the Boise Hawks. And their all-time hits leader, Tyler Jorgensen, is up at the plate. So I'm keeping an eye on that right now. Other games from around the league, Northern Colorado is up 12-9. I'm guessing that one's in a rain delay. Don't have an official word, but they're up 12-9 on Ogden in Ogden. Billings, they won 8-6 over Great Falls. I think that's going to be a good Billings squad. They had a lot of returners from a good squad last year. And excitement in Idaho Falls in the Spud State. the Chuckers and the Paddleheads went to the knockout round. We get a knockout round on opening night, and the Chuckers look like they pulled it off in the knockout round. And that's just according to the Paddleheads Twitter. That is not official. But, they tell you don't trust a paddlehead, but I will trust the paddlehead's tweet.
Right now we will. Right now
that's all we got
will.
to go off of, because Idaho Falls is probably celebrating, and they haven't sent out a tweet to know what happened there. So, David, first night of Pioneer League Baseball, you're trying to figure out what this league is, and you're somebody, you just graduated from Georgia Southern.
Yep.
So you've watched D1 baseball. You watched a lot of it this spring. For somebody like you, for somebody like Oakland fans that may still be tuned in, how impressive was this opening night? Seeing some long balls, seeing some great defense, some good pitching. The Pioneer League gets somewhat of a bad rap for not having great pitching, but the pitchers reined it in after maybe a shaky first couple innings. What could you say about tonight?
If you're an Oakland fan, you got a lot to be excited about. And I'll be honest with you. We're sitting here for 9 innings, calling this game, watching it play out. There's a lot of talent on the field for both sides. But I'll speak on Oakland first. It's obvious that Austin Davis is special. It's obvious that he's got a lot going for him. He has the intangibles. He's got speed that's off the charts. He had a double that was a bunt, for crying out loud. Obviously, Dondre Hubbard. He didn't have the best night, but he had that moonshot. You know the power that you're going to get.
And it's
from
the
him.
difference in the end, too. A solo shot by Dondre Hubbard, that's all they needed.
Yeah, and look, sometimes when you step into an opening day, I already mentioned it, especially for Oakland fans, there are question marks. You have some answers to some of your questions, and on the other end, for the Range Riders, I thought overall it was a good outing because not everything went their way. Not everything was perfect, but it was still a one-run ball game. And the power is really what shocked me. Drew Sims, his first plate appearance of the night,
That was
he
cool.
goes yard. Andy Atwood was the most impressive to me. His defense was spectacular. There's a special season ahead for the middle of this Range Riders infield in Mason Dennison and Andy Atwood. And I think the Range Riders will be just fine.
Yep.
I think especially the pitching, you're going to see that calm down. Zegna, I don't think you're going to see 6 walks from him in many other games. It's just what it is.
Don't judge a team off one game. A lot to be excited about for Oakland, and you're allowed to be as excited as you can. But at the end of the day, the Range Riders and the Flathead faithful out there, don't freak out.
No, not
See you
at all.
tomorrow night. Jonathan Pintaro will get the start. He's a returner for the Range Riders, and he should deliver just fine. I just said a brief word to him. I just said, how you feeling? When I passed Jonathan Pintaro, and he said, we're ready to go. He said, I just want to get out there. I just want to throw. And so, that's exactly what we're going to see from him. And an update in Boise. It is going to the knockout round. 2 knockout rounds on opening night. This league never disappoints. Again, a reminder, tomorrow night at the stadium here, you can tune in on Flow Sports, 1240 AM, 102.7 FM, sam1240.com, or the KSAM app. We got plenty of ways for you to follow the game if you can't make it. But if you can make it in person, we would love to have you make it to the ballpark. Pintaro versus Tyler Davis. It is a 7:05 p.m. start time. The gates open at 6:05 p.m. Box office is open at 5:30. So is parking. So make it down to the ballpark because, it's going to be a good show, just like it was tonight. David, thanks for joining me for your first professional broadcast.
Absolutely.
We got one under our belt here.
Yep.
And we got 95 to go. Lots of baseball to be played for all of us here at the Glacier Range Riders. We appreciate you taking the time to tune in for tonight's broadcast. We hope to see you tomorrow night. And until next time, we hope you have a great rest of your night and stay safe out there.